I didn't think you'd catch me dancing along to the theme tune of Softer Side of Life. Yes, happy Friday. It's Friday. No, that's not the song, Becky Sworn. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you, John, saving me here. Welcome to Softer Side of Life on Crafters TV, brought to you by Crafters Companion. My name's George Akid. Happy Friday, happy April. Can you believe it? Who fell for the new Gemini? Who saw it? The Micro Mini. Who went for that? Did you like it?
I really wanted one.
I know I did as well.
Yeah, it was quite cute.
You know,
I like that.
Very good social media. Talking of social media, it's wonderful Chloe on the socials today. It's her first show.
Yay!
Yes, don't be rubbish. We've got I'm joking, loads of stuff coming up for you on the Softer Side of Life. As always, every Friday we take you on that softing, crafting journey with myself, George Akid, and of course, everyone's favourite soft crafter, the queen of soft crafts, Miss Becky Sworn. Good morning, good afternoon, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Look at you little crown tiara.
I know. I am wearing it for, I mean, there doesn't need to be a reason why I would wear a crown.
Absolutely.
But I am actually wearing a crown because we've got a Jubilee themed show today.
We have indeed. So it's going to be a great show. And now listen, so just tell you about, don't forget that as of Monday, our brand new show times are kicking off. We are doing 2 hours of wake-up calls starting at 11 a.m. here in the UK, 6 a.m. On the East Coast, and 3 a.m. Pacific time. 2 hours of your wake-up call, getting you ready with previews, some exciting demos, getting you ready for your crafting day. You've said that you wanted it, and we've listened. So 2 hours every day. Actually, we're starting on Monday. I've got the pleasure of kicking that off for you. It's coming here for you on the screen as we speak. This side, that side, there it is. Knew it. There it is for you. They are your show times. Your afternoon show times are staying the exact same. It's just your morning shows. We're going to give you 2 hours. Boom, it's me on Monday kicking it off, and the weekends are staying the exact same. Do not worry. And don't forget as well, at the moment with Club Inspire, you spend over £25, $25, you're going to get yourself an extra 100 bonus points on your Club Inspire. Maybe this is the time for you to move through the ranks on Club Inspire. Any order, £25, $25 until Sunday, the 3rd of April. It's April.
I know, it's going so quickly, isn't it?
And it's snowing. What on earth is happening? Tell you what, loads of you get in touch already. If you've got any questions or anything you want to shout out during the show, just comment below and we'll answer those questions for you today. Laura May saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. And now, as Becky did say, you are dressed like a queen because you are a queen of soft crafting.
Yeah, I like that idea.
It is Elizabeth II.
Yep.
Her 70th anniversary.
Yep.
Wow, on the throne. And we have gone to town this year on celebrating some great collections. Laura May's just saying she loves the Micro Mini. Loads of you love the Micro Mini. They remind me of those, is it Marks and Spencer's that they do the little mini foods?
They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they were quite good. The kids were sort of collecting those. But I looked on social media and a few people were saying these would be great as fridge magnets, which I think is a really good idea. So we have to let Leanne know about that.
We'll have a chat. I'll see what we can do. Starting off with something which is brand new for you today, all the brand new fabrics. It's the Digital Print Jubilee. Now, we said this earlier this morning, didn't we, on Wake Up Call. If you are not a soft crafter, maybe you're a bit intimidated by soft crafting, maybe it's not for you, but you own a sewing machine and you can do sewing, this is going to be brilliant for you. It's our digital print. Now, you'll see why it's digital print, and Becky will explain that for you very, very shortly. But actually, it's bunting to go. You can make your own Jubilee bunting. I wish this crown print here, where on the far side was made just as a bigger fabric, because I love it. I would say I want that in a bigger fabric. Becky, this is just incredible, isn't it?
It's brilliant, isn't it? So it is everything's sort of printed out for you. So even if you don't have a sewing machine, you can really easily put this together by hand. And I'm going to show you how simple it is later on. So we're going to make some bunting. So this makes double-sided bunting effectively, but you could always just use one side of it and just have it, one-sided bunting. But we were saying about using it, okay, perhaps, you're using it for the Jubilee, but maybe you're going to be doing a party for, a little prince or a little princess for a birthday.
Yeah,
you can use that again. It's really lovely, really good quality, and those colours are so vibrant, so brightly coloured.
Absolutely. I mean, I love that little crown there for you, the little cart as well. I think the cart. There she is. There's Elizabeth in the cart. There she is. A carriage. There she is. Again, a great collection. I love this. I love this. Bunting to go, isn't it? You can make your own bunting. £9.99, $14.49. And when you say digital print, why do we call it digital print, Becky?
So it's rather than printing, if you're going to be printing huge pieces of fabric, you'll be working on perhaps a 100-metre piece of fabric. These are just done in small panels. So if you've bought, so this is Lewis and Irene fabric. So if you've bought our Easter panel before, we did an Easter panel a few weeks ago, and it had little sort of plushy toys you could make out of it, sort of soft toys, and also little bags. So it's just a small print on a kind of small scale. So this is a really good way of buying something. This is simple to do. This would be a great activity to do with the kids, and perhaps your kids are off on the, you know, the Easter holidays now. You're looking for an activity to do with them. This would be a really simple and easy way for them to make something. As I say, ideally, if you've got a sewing machine, but you don't have to use a sewing machine, you could do it by hand.
Absolutely. Brilliant price there for you. £9.99, $14.49. Look at Club Inspire price, by the way. £7.99, $11.59. Great price and a great deal. Now, of course, if you wanted to see anything British in fabric, well, have we got a collection for you? It's the wonderful Jubilee teacups in silver metallic. Now, this is everything British in one great collection. You're paying for it by the half a metre, as always. But again, what a great little fabric this is. The teacups, the cakes, the afternoon teas, the silver glitters on there. Again, what a great collection of fabrics this is. £7.49 for your $10.99 on your half metre. Then you've got also your cream with gold crowns. Now, this is gorgeous. This is a beautiful little fabric. I mean, when it's corresponded against that wonderful blue, which you'll show shortly, that's the cream there with that wonderful gold metallic crowns coming through there. Really is incredible. £7.49, $10.99. Club Inspire price at £5.99, $8.79. I love it in the cream, but when I saw it in the blue, oh, this is, I mean, I might have to
It's a real royal blue, isn't it?
I might have to buy some of this because I just think it's gorgeous. Using it on waistcoats and ties with this. Absolutely. If only we knew somebody who wore waistcoats. £7.49, $10.99. You Club Inspire price of £5.79, $8.79. Now, Johnny, actually, I think you'll find that these aren't the Union Jacks. What these are the Union flags. Becky?
So the Union Jack is only called a jack when it's flown at sea. So otherwise it's known as a Union flag.
Based on water.
And do you know where I found that piece of information from?
Where?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who? Very good.
Yep.
Bless you. You're a special person.
Yeah, I
you
know.
are. Now, do you know what I was saying about this? These wonderful Union Jacks or flags on cream. I buy, obviously, I, as a dame, I buy a lot of Union Jack fabric. What you buy is big Union Jacks. You can't find it in the smaller size like this is here. You can't buy the smaller size of the Union flag Jack. You can't buy it at all because it's just usually made in big sizes, or it's just one continuous,
almost like one great big flag kind of thing.
Or they're at least a couple of inches, wide. This is perfect for that more elegant side of it, if you want something not as much in your face. £6.99, $10.49. You've got it there on the cream, and you've also got the option as well of the light blue as well.
This is almost an Air Force blue, isn't it?
Very Air Force blue, yes, absolutely. Very British today with the Air Force. Nothing. Sorry, something came to my head. £6.99, $10.49. Again, the blue colour there, the RAF blue, with the Union flag. Now, again, with the love hearts on this one, with the, look at that, just very beautiful. Like you said, waistcoats, pocket handkerchiefs, ties, bow ties. Bow ties, yes. £6.99, $10.49, Union Jack hearts on royal blue. And then, if you want to sum up London / the Royals in a fabric, well, what about this one? Because this is just incredible. It's the Palace Gold Metallic. You've got it all in there. You've got the beefeaters, which are these gentlemen. Just whereas there's one for you. They're the beefeaters. You've got the Houses of Parliament. You've got Big Ben. You've got the Tower of London. You've got the Change in the Guard. You've got the Royal Statue. You've got the cart, not the cart, the crown. No, the cart, the carriage. Thank you. I'm never getting knighthood. Trees, Union flags, everything. Perfect collection. It's £7.49, $10.99. That'd look great in a little boy's or little girl's bedroom in a cushion.
And it almost looks to me, sometimes you get sort of tea towels when you go to the airport or you go to, a place that they've got all those sort of prints on there. Almost like a Where's Wally kind of thing where you could identify the person that's hidden in there. And absolutely, if anything screams out London, it's that.
Yes, Absolutely. Someone's just gone, Laura's just gone, I love the teacup fabric. I would totally see it in an Alice in Wonderland theme.
Oh, yes.
Great idea, really outside the box. And she also says, I love Doctor Who. My daughter wanted to move to the UK just because of Doctor Who.
He doesn't wander around that often.
He's got a TARDIS, he
No.
can travel wherever.
Yeah.
You know, that's who you've got to remember. It's like saying you want to move to Mars. Sewing deal of the...
Whee!
There it is for you. As always, you've got a great collection on your sewing templates. 50% off, it's half price. Yes, we showed this last week actually. Again, your storage template collection, what a great deal this is for you today. If you're wanting to make storage, what a great place to start with this. You've got the storage caddy, you're getting all the stencils that you need, the templates to make your sewing storage caddy. Loads of great shows on this. You're also going to be getting the sewing organizer. And you're also going to be getting the sewing workstation, allowing you to make personalised storage for whatever you need. Maybe it's not sewing, maybe, excuse me, hairdresser. Maybe make it into that faux leather. You keep your scissors and your tools, all clever tool. Maybe you're a pet groomer, whatever. You've got all the options, artist. And you're also going to be getting in there the binding tool as well, which looks really, there it looks better than the white there, as you can see it. The binding tool with all the instructions on there to make some great ideas, great shapes. Half price, £24.98, $29.40, and your Club Inspire price on this at £19.98, $23.52. Sherry saying, good morning again, time change again, has me off schedule now. Hey, listen, we like to keep you on your toes. That is what we like. This sewing deal of the week, Becky, is just incredible, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I thought I'd bring you a few sort of finished samples. Now, whilst we say this is like your storage basket kind of thing, I thought this would be really nice if you were going on a picnic, because you could pop your, you know, sort of knives and forks down
Caviar.
here. Your caviar, yeah. But you could pop a little picnic for two inside this little bag, and that works really well. So you've got all the instructions and the templates to make all of these. So this is the storage bag. Then we have this one here, which is the one with you've got little zip, not zips, these are for your scissors.
Yeah.
Little pockets for your scissors, little zip pockets. So you can fit all of your bits and pieces in here. So if I hold it up here, you can see you've got all those little pouches, your little pin cushion over here. So once again, really good item for you to give as a gift. You know, these would be really great in a craft fair. You're going to be making these for people to give away.
Yeah.
And then finally, you've got the workstation, which has got a little place here. This piece just fits your normal size cutting mat into.
Oh, great
So that's
idea.
quite useful. But you've got all your little pockets, your little sort of pouches and areas so you can put all of your crafty bits all in one place and using your favourite fabric. I mean, I think these would be great in that Jubilee fabric.
Yeah.
You could use all sorts of different fabric that you may have. Making something like this out of a denim, you know, you might have some old jeans or some old sort of jean shirts that you want to sort of get rid
Yeah.
of, but you don't want to sort of throw them away. This would make a really good item using some of those.
Maybe like a memory thing as well. If you've got
Yeah.
someone who absolutely loves, you know, someone who's passed away recently, something that was close to them to make out of that. Loads of you getting in touch this morning, which is great to have you. Donna's saying, love the blue heart fabric, as always. Pammy saying, good morning, George and Becky from Central New York. Saying hello. Which one was that, Johnny? Which? We have loads of the fabric is selling quite fast. Wow, loads of you want to be getting that. If you've got any of the fabric in your basket, news coming in on the Jubilee Fabrics, you want to be getting that very quickly today. Laura May's asking, are the templates paper or plastic?
They are plastic.
Right.
So yeah, I can show you now.
Show
So
us.
if I'll take one out
Go
and
on,
show
why not?
you.
Treat us.
So we've got in your little booklet, on the back of there, it will say how much of the fabric you'll actually need and whether you need any sort of additional things like a snap fastener or similar. And then you can see mine's got a few little ink marks on there where I've used it before, but it's actually made out of a sheet of acetate, so it's quite fairly thick acetate, and it's got these little gaps in between, so you can use that for marking on your fabric. So if you're going to be using a lighter coloured fabric, I use my heat erasable pens, but if you're going to be doing it on a darker fabric, perhaps you're going to be using a sort of very dark denim, you can use our spray, which has got like tailor's chalk in there, or you can put tailor's chalk through here to mark that out, which would give like a white marking. So you can see just on this one piece of acetate, we've got all of the different shapes that you need to cut out in order to make that one item. And of course, you're going to get your guide in there as well.
Lovely. Linda saying good morning, Meave saying wow, fabulous, and Miriam was saying good morning, George, Becky, Chloe and Team Social Crafters, loving the Jubilee fabric. It is incredible. Right, shall we do a demo? What are you going to make for us, Queen Becky?
I thought I'd make some bunting. Ooh. Why not? You know,
sorry,
why not?
What was that, Charlotte? Did Charlotte go yes? Do you like bunting?
Everybody loves a bit of bunting.
We all love a bit of bunting.
Don't they? Yeah. So I've already cut out my other pieces of bunting, but I wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to cut this. So this cotton fabric, it almost feels, I mean, you'll back me up here, it almost feels satiny. It's beautifully soft and smooth. It's got a really nice sheen to it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use my ruler and my rotary cutter. And I want to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to line up my ruler.
Yep.
If I hold my ruler here, so where you've got your sort of markings here, so this is the small ruler that we had in a pack with our rotary cutter and our small A3 or A4 cutting mat. So you've got these little marks here.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the edge of my my sort of piece of bunting against this line here, and then I'm going to cut there, and that's going to give me a perfect 1/4 inch seam allowance. So if I move that over here, and so this is what I've done with all of those pieces.
Are you cutting up to the line of the fabric, or are you leaving a bit of a gap?
I'm leaving a little bit of a gap. Actually, I'm going to use, because it's a little bit longer, I'm going to use this ruler, which is my fold-out ruler, just so I've got a bit more space.
Perfect, if you're on the train.
Exactly. But we were saying that, weren't we?
Yeah.
It's great for travelling because it just folds away. My son was really quite amazed by it when he was looking at it. It's like, wow, it's incredible. So you can see now I've cut that with my rotary cutter, and I've got a perfect 1/4 inch seam allowance on both of those. So when they've been put together, when they've been printed, they have sort of taken that into account. They've made it as easy as possible for you. So I'm going to do the same on this one, and I'm just going to trim the edge up here as well. Okay. So it's a similar kind of size.
So you're going to back these together?
I'm going to put these two together, yeah. So
I was
they're
just
back to back.
thinking, if you wanted to make your bunting even longer, you could trace around one of the triangles and use some either plain blue or red or white fabric to back it on, so make your bunting go even further. Yeah,
absolutely. Or even if you've bought some of the fabric we've got on the show today, you know, that sort of a crown fabric in the blue to back it all up would be ideal. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Or, you know, if you didn't want your bunting to have, you know, to be able to be seen on both sides, you were happy with it looking like that, then you could do that and just have it all single pieces. But I think it looks quite nice when you've got it blowing in the wind, you can see both sides.
Yeah. Scrap Paper Scissors went, good morning, George and Becky. It's another cold day in Ohio. Hope you are all toasty warm where you are. No,
I have to say, we're not.
We're freezing. I ain't gonna lie, I'm freezing.
We're really, really cold.
And she goes on to say, I'm so happy to see George back and healthy. I've really missed him. I was well last week. I just had a throat which sounded like I'd swallowed, I don't know, gravel.
We did take the mickey out of you because you did sound really quite poorly, but actually you were totally fine.
I was totally fine. That was the most.
You just sounded really husky.
A bit sexy. Yeah. Someone said.
So,
apparently no one did.
Maybe. We're going to take.
We're going to. Scrap Paper Scissors did. Loads of you saying about the bag templates. Loads of you loving this fabric. Miriam saying she's loving the Jubilee fabric. Pammy's also saying that's some very British fabric. How fun. I think when it comes to the British sense of humour, we do like to. It goes from one extreme to the other, doesn't it, with Britishness? Yeah.
I mean, I think of all the times you can really sort of go to town wearing, you know, using this kind of fabric, it's going to be sort of Jubilee weekend. Or if you go to the last night at the proms, they always seem to wear this kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm always there, me, last night at proms.
I've never been to last night at proms.
Actually, I tell a lie, this year I'm going to be hosting, in a city near me, the last night of the proms at the Jubilee. Wakefield, in Pontefract Castle. I'm going to be hosting the last night of the proms at the Jubilee.
Well, I think you need some of this fabric to make a tie or something. Absolutely. So I've taken my two pieces, my two sort of triangles, my two pieces of bunting, and I've put them right sides together, and I've just given them a pin. And then I'm going to stitch all the way down here and down to this point down here, and then I'm going to turn it round so it's the right way up.
Loads of you get excited about this Bunting on the digital print, and I think it's such a great price. Like loads of you saying, Miriam, I'm saving this show, I'm getting this fabric for my mill. She will love to do Bunting placemats, table runners, napkins, from all this material. This is one of those materials. We see it, yeah, it's got flowers on it, it's got roses, and they are beautiful fabrics that we do, but there's something so special about this fabric. You know it's not going to come around often. It's one of those fabrics where you know it's not going to come out every year, because if you're wanting to get it, because you don't want to miss out on something. I'm honestly, once I finish, I'm going to try and look for the right. I've got a feeling that blue fabric with the crowns may have sold out, but I absolutely adore that, and I really want to get some. So I'm tempted to, once the show's finished today, try and get some of that in my basket.
You're right. I mean, it's not once in a lifetime fabric at all, but you know, it's not going to be something that we have very often, because it's almost like a piece of history, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can say, well, actually, you know, I had that piece of fabric that was related to the, you know, the Jubilee all those years ago.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to trim this point here, so that will just allow me, when I turn it round, that I'll be able to pull it out into that little point. Just trim those bits here. And what we do need to do is give it a bit of an iron, give it a bit of a press, to make sure it's nice and finished out. So lots of people in the UK, I imagine, are having street parties for the Jubilee, because that, when I was little, I was alive for one of the Jubilee parties, not for the coronation. I'm not quite that old, but there was when I was a child, when I was about 3 or 4, there was a big Jubilee party in
25th.
Our street. Huh?
25th Jubilee.
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah. And it was, you know.
What are you looking at it like that for? The tweet, when you said you were 4 or 5, there's only been the 25th, the 50th, the 60th.
Yeah.
You're only 28, so I don't know exactly. that. Yeah.
And there were lots of sort of street parties, and I know in our road we're talking about having a street party to celebrate, because we've got lots of bank holidays this year, so lots of activities, or times to fill in with activities. So yeah, it's going to be quite a good time to do things like that.
Because a lot of people, you can work it out, you can get a lot of holiday actually out of it.
You can, yeah.
Not for Johnny and Charlotte, they're going to be here, bless them. But they'll have a little flag in the gallery, won't you guys? Yeah, bit of tea. Do you know what, I must admit, on Wednesday, I was in Cornwall, I may have told you. I never felt as British in my life. On the coast, on the south of the coast, eating cream tea, scones and jams.
Oh, that is my favourite thing. When we did a little piece of camera for Mother's Day with Michelle last week, and afternoon tea is the thing that I love. I always want afternoon tea if it's my birthday. To be honest, if it's just a day that, you know, day of the week, I want afternoon tea. I think afternoon tea is the greatest thing you could ever have, and I'd rather have that than have a proper meal, to be honest.
I know you want the thing is with afternoon tea, it has to be the right amount of sandwiches, sweet to savoury. But cream tea was a Cornish cream tea. Yeah. So it's 2 scones. Yeah. Clotted cream. Yeah. No, it's jam and cream then is in Cornwall.
Yeah, so is is it that way around in Cornwall?
Yeah, so in Cornwall, because there was a sign, so you put the jam on first, then you put the cream on.
Right, okay.
That's how they eat it in Cornwall. Devonshire tea is cream, then jam. Okay. Whereas I don't care really, just give me all, I'll eat it all together. 2 scones, cream and jam, cup of tea.
And it has to be clotted cream really, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Proper Cornish clotted cream. Yeah. £5.50, bargain. It was the most southern cafe in the UK.
That sounds
lovely. I saw a little seal pop its head out of the water.
Oh.
It's very cute. Laura May saying, I love working with panels, so fun, really is. Liz on William said, love the caddy, made it last week for Mother's Day. For a Mother's Day present. Did you get many Mother's Day gifts, Becky?
No, I didn't. I said to everybody, I don't really want anything apart from daffodils. I said, just buy me some daffodils. So I got a couple of bunches of daffodils, and I didn't really want anything, because normally, you know, I sound so miserable, don't I? You end up with chocolate and things, and I'm really trying to not eat as much chocolate as I have been. So I didn't have anything. I just had. I think my son even said, "Oh, I'll make you a breakfast in bed," and I don't like breakfast in bed because of the crumbs. So I didn't. I had a cup of tea, and he made me a sandwich at lunchtime.
Oh wow!
I know. It's a different world. It's a different world. So what I've done here is just top stitched over the top here.
Why would you do that? What is the purpose of that?
Just to make it lie nice and flat, really, and it just gives it a better finish off. Otherwise, you sort of end up with a bit of a rounded seam here, so it just looks a little bit better like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this over, and I'm going to give it a press, and then I'm going to attach it to the rest of the bunting that I've already done. But I've done these all in exactly the same way.
Okay. I've started a debate now. Liz Williams goes, needs to be Devon way, cream first. Okay, I need to know, are we going cream first, then jam, jam first, then cream? Devon or Cornwall? What way are you going for, Becky?
I don't know. I always, when I was a kid, we always used to have jam first, then cream. But then sometimes if the cream is a little bit too cold, it's difficult for it to spread.
Yeah.
And then someone else said to me, you should treat the cream as though it was butter. I don't know. I mean, I'm a bit like you. I don't really mind.
Get it in there. Like you, Charlotte, you cream or jam first? Cream first, Johnny? You're jam first. Scrap paper scissors goes, I've always wondered what clotted cream is. Nobody knows.
Oh,
of course you know. What is it? Go on then, tell me. What is it?
I've got a recipe for clotted cream. So basically, it's almost, if you were going to be making a gravy and you wanted to reduce the gravy, I hope this is correct anyway, someone will tell me if it's wrong. I was told you get the cream and then you basically sort of cook it, you almost sort of condense it, you almost take the water out of it. And then after it's been done, you sort of leave it and it forms a bit of a crust. So that's the kind of crust that you get on clotted cream. But I know my friends that live in the US, they were really confused by the whole idea of clotted cream. But it's delicious and it just tastes like, it tastes like condensed cream in that, you know, it's like the most creamiest cream thing that you can possibly have. It doesn't have any sweeteners in it, it is literally just the cream, but that's how it's made. It's to do with the heating and removing of the water. See, I'm great in a pub quiz. I should be in a pub quiz more, I think.
Oh, steam or water, there you are right. Meave saying butter, jam, then cream, but we didn't put butter into it.
Ooh.
You didn't bring your butter.
Salted butter.
Well, it depends.
Must be, mustn't it? And jam is really important, depending on which jam you use. I went...
With strawberries, there's all the choice, strawberry jam.
I went to a friend's party, she won't be watching, and they did afternoon tea with pineapple jam.
Oh, get stuff,
which was a little bit like, you know, when you go and have a pizza and they give you pineapple on the pizza. I was a little bit confused. I mean, it was quite nice, but I think raspberry or strawberry jam, it has to be.
Pineapple? Is she still your friend?
Pardon?
She's still your friend?
Yeah.
Get rid.
I couldn't get rid of her just for that.
I would.
I'm sorry, you can no longer be my friend because you're giving me pineapple jam.
Pineapple jam?
Pineapple jam.
I like pineapple and pizza. I like pineapple. I'm not against pineapple and pizza. I would happily have pineapple pizza. Having pineapple pizza.
Can you say that again?
Having pineapple pizza.
Pizza.
But I wouldn't have a pineapple jam.
No, I think it's quite nice on some things, but I wasn't entirely sure it was what I wanted with my clotted cream. I don't think it was clotted cream either. So what I've done here is I've used some of our little strip rolls that we've got of our blue fabric, and I folded them in half, and then I folded sort of the raw edges in, and I've used this to make the sort of ribbon for our bunting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little piece of my little flag, and I'm going to place that inside those two pieces of that blue strip.
There it is.
Bless you.
So what would you do with those crown strips on the side?
I don't know. I cut them off, but they weren't quite long enough for me to do anything with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would want to use them for something, but I'm not entirely sure what I would use them. Maybe you could use them for a bit of wrapping. Actually, you could probably use them as a ribbon to go around a cake. That would be quite nice, and that would be the kind of way that you would have had those kind of cakes in the 1950s with a ribbon around the edge.
Of course. Laura Parker, I thought it might be cottage cheese, but I guess not. No, clotted cream is not cottage cheese.
It's just like really, really thick cream. Oh, it's just delicious.
I thought it was cottage cheese. Oh, I hate cottage cheese. You may feel a bit sick, Laura, I'm not going to lie. Cottage cheese is like... that and beetroot. Oh, goodness.
I like beetroot.
I like beetroot not by itself.
I love the way you say beetroot.
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 Beets if you're in the States. The reason, when I was very young, I had a summer postie job. People used to post clotted cream to their friends in the post for a couple of days in summer. It can't have been okay. Who's posting clotted cream? Laura May, when I was a single mum, my kids made me breakfast in bed for my birthday or Mother's Day sometimes. You see? Sweet and innocent, that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. And she also says, I have a love-hate relationship with breakfast in bed.
I just, it's the crumbs. I can't be doing with the crumbs.
What are you doing with your breakfast? You get a tray and you put it under your
No.
chin.
No. I'd much rather get up, have the breakfast downstairs, and then go back to bed for the nap. That's really what I want to do.
And what do you have for breakfast? Caviar and toast?
No.
Smoked salmon and poached eggs?
I love smoked salmon and poached eggs, yeah.
With holiday sauce?
Absolutely, definitely holiday sauce.
Anyway, I like that, but on holiday.
Like eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would like. So I've just stitched all the way along here. So I've done each part of the flags in exactly the same way. So you can see that I've alternated. So I've had one side has always got the Union flag on it, and the other side has got one of the other patterns. But I've alternated it when I've put it all together, so it will sort of flap in the breeze. So that's how you're going to make your bunting, and it's quite long.
So I can hold it for you. I can hold it with you. With your little crown on. I still can't believe you've got the crown on.
I know. I'm not going to take it off.
Good.
So you can see we've got a fairly good piece of bunting there. And it's going, it's going to be okay to be out in the rain if it's rainy. But we've got quite a few days worth of Jubilee celebrations, so that can be hung outside or in the house
Just a little
easily.
flip. Or is it same either side?
No, it's different. Different.
Look at that.
Yep.
There you are. Right. Let me remind you of that.
Out of breath.
Out of breath. It's all the mini eggs that I'm eating. Right, just want to point this out. Don't know who made this. Who made this? Debbie Fisher. She's left mini eggs in the bottom of it, and that was a mistake. So, Trinkles, Garden, Home and Life. Good morning. How did I find it? It's chocolate. Of course, that's how I found it. Good morning. Bless you from Irene in Georgia. What are you saying in my ear? I'm like a little truffle. I'm like...
Don't say it.
They call me a little pig.
No, I was saying that you're a truffle because you've managed to sniff out the chocolate.
I picked it up and looked at it and I went, I hear there's something rattling inside it. There's a fair bit of chocolate in there.
Well, there was.
No, not anymore. You get stuff. There's plenty of chocolate in there. I've not touched any of it. I've had 2 mini eggs. Shoot me. I've had 2 mini eggs.
Shouldn't leave chocolate in the studio. I mean, that's just silly.
How are your donuts down there? Yeah, that's what I thought. Pammy, I don't know how anyone can eat runny yolks. And Sherry, this is so nice, Miss Becky. Let me remind you of the great fabric. This is what you're getting here today at that brilliant price of £9.99, $14.49. Debbie Fisher's going to message me and go, no. This is what I was saying about the crown bit there. When I was saying about that crown bit at the edge there, do you see what I mean? Like there, you could use it as like a...
You definitely don't want to throw that away. You definitely want to use that for something. But I couldn't quite work out what to use it for in the bunting where it wasn't going to get lost.
Yeah.
But definitely use it for something else. Maybe some trimming on a cushion or something.
Yeah, sure. You've got this great digital print here. All these amazing... I mean, look at that. You've got a great project there to make. If you're not a confident crafter, soft crafter, look, let's be honest. It's sewing a couple of straight lines on fabric. That is... And you can make a wonderful bunting. It is perfect. That can be yours, £9.99, $14.49. Look at Come Inspire price for £8, $12. You'll get an amazing little set there. Loads of you loving that. It's selling very well as well. All brand new fabrics. Scrap paper scissors saying, have a mini egg for me, George, still on my diet. Don't you worry, scrap paper scissors. I'm giving a mini egg for each and every single one of you out there. Right, we've got our wonderful fabrics for the Jubilee, and very great. You've got the teacups here for you. They're still metallic again, with all the cakes, the afternoon teas, the creams, the scones, if you're weird. You've got the teacups, what do you call it?
Scone.
Thank you. The teacups as well. And it's even, I've just noticed this, the ribbon that says Platinum Jubilee on it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's great. The little crowns. It's even got the ER2, the Elizabeth Reign 2 symbol, which you can't really see there in the fabric, but it's so beautiful. Once you get, oh, here we come in. All right, Charlotte, calm yourself. There it is. And there you can see a little platinum Jubilee ribbon there. Beautiful. All right, Charlotte, you can see all my creases in my fingers here. Right. Actually, look at that. That is extremely close. Okay, there we are. Right. I was just getting really nervous. It's like never stop. You've also got the wonderful teacups in the, you've got the silver, and then you've also got the crowns, that wonderful cream. They're the gold crowns for you on that cream metallic, cream and gold metallic. Again, a great collection. If you like it in the cream, you're going to like it in the blue as well. It's gorgeous, absolutely stunning, really elegant, regal. Really regal. I think that's going to sell very quick. Moving on to Union flags, Union Jacks. Starting off with your wonderful cream Union Jacks. Again, a great collection. Perfect size for so many occasions. £6.99, $10.49. You've got it on the cream. You've got it as well on that wonderful sky blue. Very RAF again. I feel like a weight. very RAF. There it is for you. You've also got the option with the blue hearts as well, which I know a lot of you are going crazy for today. The Union flags with the hearts, there they are for you. Then moving on to the Palace as well, which is such a great little fabric. So much detail in it. You're really going to have so much fun. And if you're like me, you're going to spot something new every single time. That is there. £7.49, $10.99. Guys, selling really well, really fast if you are wanting to get these. Becky, do you know what it's time for?
Builder block of the week.
There it is for you. Loads of love coming in today. Me saying, oh, that's so lovely about the bunting. Lillian saying the bunting looks fabulous. Sandra Dundas. George, like all children at Christmas, can you sniff out the parcels content? Pammy, Ben has been eating them all week, George. No worries. Ben's been eating them. What are you laughing at over there?
Oh dear. I think I need chocolate. Excellent. This is great service. Thank you very much. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Right. Builder block of the week. Johnny's going mental in my ear. Right. Johnny's trying to keep it together. I'm sorry. Builder block of the week. The expansion packs. If you've already got the builder blocks, these are going to be great to expand your collection. Starting off with the squares for you on your builder blocks. £22.49, $33.71. Here they are for you with the wonderful squares for you. Now these are great. You're getting 5 different collections. You're getting the different sizes. You're getting a 1.5 inch, a 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3.5 inch, 4.5 inch. This is your square here for you. Then you've also got the option of going for the half square triangle. And you've also got as well the quarter of a square triangle. All priced at a great price, £22.49, $33.71. Again, a 25% saving for your Club Inspired Platinum price, £17.99, $26.97. Donna's asking, is half a metre about half a yard?
Hold on. Let me find my trusty tape measure. Half a metre, half a metre, half a metre. Half a metre is 19.5 inches. Does that help? Half yard is 47.
All right, Charlotte.
So, yeah, so roughly, yeah, 45.
There
yeah,
you are.
More or less.
That helps.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Scrap Paper says, I have a teacup from the Queen's coronation that belonged to my mother-in-law. I need the bunting to make a display now.
Oh, absolutely.
I do indeed. It's time for our sewing
deal of the week.
There it is. It's all about storage today. Again, starting off first of all with your storage caddy. If you want storage in a caddy, then this is the design for you. Your storage caddy here. What are you crying for over there in the corner?
It makes me laugh listening to myself sing this sewing deal of the week thing. That I don't know how I started doing that, but
you did it randomly.
I know.
You volunteered once.
I know. I just do it for everything. Everything is a something of the week. I don't know where it came from.
You've got your storage caddy coming here in this great collection of brilliant stencils. Remember, the stencils are plastic. You can draw around them. You've got them for life. Then you've also got the sewing organizer. I love this. Perfect for maybe horse groomers, maybe...
I really like that idea about, so dog groomers, be able to put all your tools and bits and pieces in there. If you've got like a mobile dog grooming thing, I don't know how many different kinds of scissors and bits and pieces that you might have for that type of thing, but quite useful.
Well, there's different scissors for different species. Then you've also got as well the sewing workstation for you. Now, if that wasn't enough, you're also going to get the binding tool, which Becky absolutely loves this because it is so good, isn't it? It allows you to be an amazing soft crafter. And all the instructions are on there, aren't they, Becky?
Yeah, so you don't have to worry that you've lost the packaging, which I think is something we often do. So everything's printed on there. And you'll be able to see step-by-step instructions as to how to use that on our website.
Absolutely, perfect. So, quick question coming in for you. I love a builder block. It's such a great system, says Laura May. Sorry, just a couple of questions about the builder block. Marcy is saying, George, you're a hoot, not an owl. I'm joking. Laura May, a silly question. What is the difference between a half a square triangle and a quarter square triangle?
If you took a square and you folded it into a half, you would get your half square triangles, and then if you folded it again into a quarter, you get your quarter. So basically, where you're quarter square triangles, you'd have 4 of those making up a whole square. That makes any sense? If I show you, it's probably best to show you on a sample, and I think I have one here. So yeah, here you can see. So you've got a half square triangle here, and then these are quarter square triangles here, and that makes up a whole square. So by using those 3 different builder block systems, 3 different builder blocks, you can make a quilt like this, because everything's going to match in together. So you can see how effective that looks just with one of those quarter square triangles in a different colour and the rest of it in white. But that's effectively what it is. That's how it's broken down.
Brilliant price for this today at £24.98 on your storage template collection, $29.40. Your Club Inspire price, remember, £19.98, $23.52. Spend over £25, $25 until the 3rd of April. You're going to get yourself 100 bonus points on your Club Inspire. Right then, Becky, let's have another demo. What are you going to do for us, my lovely? I'm
going to do the storage caddy. So I'm doing this using our So Boho or So Boho fabric, as Johnny says, because I love the way he says that. What? And whenever I use the So Boho fabric, I think of Johnny saying it. So we're going to be using this. So this is the one that I showed you a little bit before, which is a really simple, it's just a single sheet of this, the acetate, but you've got all of the different shapes that you're going to need to make this caddy. Now this is something that I thought would be really useful if you were going to be not just making it as a storage caddy for your tools, but I quite like the idea of this being almost like a little bag that you can take down to the river for a little picnic. It's just, you can pack your sandwiches in there, and you can fit your sort of cutlery and bits and pieces all around in those little pockets. I thought that was a really good option. So I've already cut some of it out, so I'll show you the different pieces that I've got. So
I just love you, because your idea of a river is a completely different idea to my kind of a river, where there's a upturned shopping trolley in the lake with a couple of carrier bags, where you've got swans and geese and...
Well, I live in London. I live quite close to the river, so that's where I take my dog for a walk down by the river. And we've got the Oxford-Cambridge boat race that's happening at the weekend here, so we're going to have a little bit boat party. And to be honest, everybody, as long as the weather's okay, down where I live, it's just full of people having picnics, watching the boat race. That's just what happens. So that's what I think.
Well, in my part of the world, we're passing a bottle of White Lightning to each other and having a great time with a bag of Space Raiders. So it's a different way of life.
I don't understand anything.
Exactly,
you just
that's
said.
what I thought.
Only joking. Right, so the first piece we've cut out is this main part of the body here, the bag. And we've also cut this little piece here, which is the flap. This is like the little handle. So I've fused some wadding onto the back of this, or batting, and I've only used a very light one because I just want a little bit of structure in there. So depending on what you want to use this for, you might want to use some foam in there to make it really rigid. It's entirely up to you. So you're going to cut 2 of these pieces here. You're going to cut 2 of these, and you're also going to cut 2 of these little pockets of 2 different contrasting fabrics, and then you're going to do the base. But that's basically it. So that's all you're going to be cutting out. So it's quite a simple, quick thing for you to make. So I've already stitched this part together. So I put these right sides together, and then I stitched them, and then I folded them over, and then I top stitched along here, and this is going to make my little pocket. Now I thought it would be quite nice to actually have the crazy ditzy fabric, so this is a cerise ditzy fabric from the So Boho range, as the actual lining, and use the plain Threaders Coral fabric on the outside. So I'm just going to match up the side seams and the bottom seam, and I'm going to give it a pin. If I can find what I've done with my pins. I was tidying up. There we go. So I'm just going to pin that in a couple of places here and here. And I'm going to sew down here. And that's going to make these little pockets. You could, of course, make really small pockets if that's what you wanted to do. And if you were going to be using this as something to put your actual tools in, maybe you'd want smaller ones. You're going to have pokey tools. You're going to be using it for your paper crafting, or you might want your crochet needles in there. You want sort of smaller little pockets. You could just do more lines all the way down here, but I'm just going to do one roughly in the middle. Now I did sort of give this a little bit of a crease earlier on, and so I'm just going to mark that out with my heat erasable pen, and I'm going to stitch down here.
Lovely. Liz Williams had to buy the So Boho fabric for my hubby. Cool.
Yeah. Is she going to make anything in particular for her husband?
That's what she put. She had to buy the So Boho fabric for my husband.
I think it's really lovely. It's really, really beautiful and uplifting. All those different colours I think are great.
If you want to check everything out, head to the website, cottagecompanion.com.co.uk.eu. Click Shop the Show. You'll see everything available for you in the show today. Add them into your basket. Remember, you spend over £25, $25 until Sunday, the 3rd of April. I went into a DJ voice then. I went into the waltzes. You've got until Sunday to get over 100 extra bonus points today. So make sure you are getting them in today. I said into the waltzes. Buy your tokens from the booth. Okay, here we go. Louder you scream, the faster the ride.
So we've sewn, we've just sewn this one here. So we've got loose sort of side seams here.
Yeah.
And we've done the same with this one. So we're going to put those right sides together, and we're going to pin those, and we're going to stitch down these side seams, and then that's going to make the basis for our bag. And we do exactly the same thing with the lining as well. What we do after this piece is we're going to attach the centre part, the base unit, to the base unit. That doesn't sound quite right, but the base part of the bag together. So I'm just going to pin these together and sew down here. Now you're going to be sewing through multiple layers of fabric here. So if you've used something like a foam, or a very thick batting, you might want to use your quilting foot on your machine because it's a little bit thicker to go through. But this should be fine because I've only used a very sort of light batting here. So have you got any plans for the Jubilee weekend? You've not planned anything yet?
Oh, I'm working the festival, aren't I?
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's not the problems, hosting that. I have to put my suit on, get it out see if it still fits me.
That's going to be very exciting.
I know. It's at Pontefract Castle, so I don't actually know what it entails yet. I just got a phone call. Do you fancy doing this? And I'm also hosting the Licorice Festival.
The Licorice Festival?
Yeah.
In
Pontefract.
I like licorice.
Because Pontefract cakes, the licorice, yeah.
So I like sort of Swedish licorice, which is quite salty, with chocolate.
Vile person. How could anyone like that? I worked in Sweden before, and that was like a prank they used to play on us. Go,
covered in dark chocolate. I quite like it. I think it's nice.
Go and eat the licorice with the salt. And then he'd eat it. Apparently, they started the chef from the Muppets. And, and I'd have it, and they go, ha ha, it's so salty. I go, yeah, it is salty. My face turns into a lemon. I'm like, ah. You know what I mean?
I do really like strawberry licorice, but I don't really think that's licorice, really. It's more like strawberry sugar.
A couple of strawberry pencils.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like a bit of licorice.
Do you know, I've noticed, and I blame you, because every time I'm in, we talk about food.
Don't blame
And then
me.
I go home and I'm starving because all I've been doing is talking about food. But I do have some donuts underneath the counter here that someone brought in for me, which is really nice. So when people aren't looking, I might have a little donut. Now we've sewn the two sides here of the bag, and now we're going to attach the base part. So we're going to fold this over, and we're going to find the middle points of this just down here. So we'll pop that. Put a little pin in there, and we will do one over this side as well. So we're just pinning that so we can make a mark where those centre points are. And we're going to do the same here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it just means that it's going to be a little bit easier for us to match everything up when we put the bag together.
Yeah.
And as I said before, this is I'm going to do exactly the same thing, exactly the same way of putting it together with the lining, exactly the same.
I'll tell you what will be happening this year is the lighting of the beacons.
The what?
The beacons around the UK.
Oh, yeah.
The lighting of the beacons.
Yeah.
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 Charlotte, do you know what I mean? So basically, in most places, there is most places of the UK and most villages have like a little big, like a fern, like a black beacon. It looks like a really medieval, like a upturned basket, basically. But it's metal and it's above ground. It's quite high up. And then they were used back in the day to messages, weren't they? And symbolisations and like when royals were born and stuff. And then they lit on special occasions, like the Jubilees. They're lit around the country.
Yeah.
I can tell I've completely lost Charlotte on the beacon. Yeah,
It's,
the old beacons.
They did the similar thing in Game of Thrones, didn't they? When they were trying to sort of make sure that people knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It's that sort of way of keeping people in contact, even if they, without any kind of communication.
Yeah, they're lit on special occasions. So I think the last time they were lit was for the.
Did they light them for the Olympics? Did they do something like that for the Olympics?
And because 2012, 10 years ago, was one of my favourite years. I just turned 18, so that's always fun. But it was the Olympics, it was the Jubilee, it was like that year of...
year of fun.
Yeah. Keep calm, carry on, I always call it that year. Because that was really big, that print of like, keep calm, carry on. But 2012 was one of my favourite years. 18, I started working at Lego, left college, had these dreams of being an actor. Here I am, 10 years on. So this is what happens when you don't study hard at school.
I'd love to work for that Lego company. I think that would be really,
Lego.
really cool. We've talked about this before and all the brilliant things that they have in there. It'd be quite good. So I've pinned all the way around here. So you can see I've pinned all the base unit to the side unit. And I'm just going to stitch around the outside.
Off she goes. Like Michael Schumacher. Hey, talking of the F1, have you seen the new racetrack in Las Vegas of all places? Have you not seen it, Johnny? Oh, you see, I like a bit of F1. In 2023, they're going to do one of the F1 circuits in Vegas around the streets. That is going to be awesome.
It's going to be like Fast and Furious,
they're going
isn't
to
it?
close the streets up.
Oh.
Like Monaco. No, it's going to go like someone just driving the bus.
So
sorry, watch out. Here's Lewis Hamilton coming at 200 miles an hour behind him. Sorry.
I thought it was going to be like Grand Theft Auto. It's going to be that.
You know what the F1 is? Oh, just stop a minute, lads. Someone just pressed the button to cross the street.
That would make it a challenge, wouldn't it?
What, not to knock anybody over?
Well, if you've got, it's a bit like one of those sort of arcade games. You're going to avoid the obstacles. Yeah. I'll just carry on sewing.
Yeah, you carry on sewing. Coming up for you very shortly, I'm going to be going, and because that's what happened. And then Corrine is going to be taking the reins. She's waiting in the wings, sat over there. You all ready? Yeah, you got your shoes on. How's the shoes doing? Got squeaky shoes on. Corrine's going to be here taking the reins. And then I'm going to be back with you on Monday for our brand new schedule. Don't forget, brand new times starting for you on Monday to Friday. 2 hours of wake-up call. You asked for it and we're going to give it you even more previews, more demonstrations. 2 hours every morning, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. here in the UK, 6 a.m. East Coast, 3 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be here for you 2 hours of that wake-up call. Don't forget them. Shows throughout the rest of the time staying exactly the same in the afternoons and the evenings, and your weekends are unaffected. Nothing's changed. So basically, all that's changing is you get an extra hour in bed or an extra hour to get your brekkie ready as we bring you 2 hours of wake-up call every weekday, Monday to Friday. You excited, Becky?
I am.
Great. 2 hours every day. I mean, but I do love Wake Up Call. It's one of my favourite shows. I do like it. It's one of my favourites.
I really enjoy doing Wake Up Call.
Yeah.
I think it's really good fun. So I'm going to turn this round the right way so you can see how that would look. like so.
Yep.
So we've not completely finished it yet because we've got the linings. The lining's made in exactly the same way. So we would just need to put these two inside themselves and then sew around the outside and then turn it round the same way we've done with other bags in the past. But you can see how that's going to look once it's finished. And then in the instructions it talks about just doing a little button at the top here, but you didn't need to. You could use a snap fastener or you could almost sort of just tie it, or even a little piece of Velcro, or quite a large piece of Velcro if you're going to be carrying something quite heavy. Yeah. You can see how quickly you can make that little storage basket, storage holder, using it on your desk, or as I quite like the idea, using it for carrying your picnic down to the river.
To the river.
Yeah.
With your frosty jack cider. Yeah. Again, all made possible with that sewing deal
of the week.
That is for you. The storage template collection, 4-piece set, £24.98, $29.40. Let me remind you what you're getting in there. You're going to be getting that wonderful, beautiful sewing templates. There is the sewing workstation. I can't remember what it was called. This is the sewing workstation for you. Then you've also got here, the back of the packaging, let me flip it round for you. There you've got the sewing organiser, and then wrapping up this great collection. Again, George cannot see what he's doing. Again, the storage caddy. With that binding tool, the 50% saving for you, £19.98, $23.52 on your Club Inspire. Marge saying hello from sunny Illinois. Loads of you get in touch. Well, that's me done. I'm done for the day. I'll be back on Monday for even more fun. Corrine's going to be handing the reins. Becky, thank you as always.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. Oh, look at you lying through your teeth. Right, save me a donut, will you, please? Right, we've got 2 more hours of your soft side life, and then don't forget, coming up for you at 6 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. East Coast, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Craig is going to be here with Corrine for that brand new launch day. Animals with attitude. That's coming up for you today. Absolutely loving those stamps. They're my animals with attitude.
I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's going to be with Craig and Corrine. In the meantime, check out your baskets. Corrine's going to be here after the break. We'll see you shortly.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, $1 or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Put away your tape measure and fabric scissors. The Threader's Fabric Cutter offers accuracy and precision with every cut. This handy tool slices through fabric in a guillotine style. Its ergonomic design features a comfortable and protective handle, so it's safe and easy to use whether you're right or left-handed. Its 45mm rotary blade will cut up to 6 layers of fabric at a time, so your sewing, quilting, and upholstery project times are cut down to size. It's equipped with a measuring guide in metric and imperial for a perfectly accurate cut every time. The built-in grid ruler has 30-degree, 45-degree, and 60-degree angle lines, so you can cut fabric on any angle, including the bias. Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Hello, hello. So you've now got me here for the rest of the weekend. So let's see how we're going to get on with this. So I can't get your comments for a few minutes. They're just setting me up and putting my mobile in there, but I will catch up with your comments in 5 minutes. So I thought in the meantime, we'll have a look at the builder block. So you've got 3 of these here. You've got your square, you've got your half square triangle and your quarter square triangle, which Becky explained to you absolutely fantastically just a few minutes ago, the difference between a half square triangle and a quarter square triangle, which, think about it logically, half square triangle you need 2 to make a square, quarter square triangle you need 4 to make a square. But I love that that quilt where you're mixing and matching the half square and the quarter square. It looks lovely.
And these work so well, being able to sort of mix and match them with each other, because obviously they are sort of they've all got right angles in them, so they're all going to go together. And the squares and the triangles are like the key things in patchworking. They are going to be the shapes that you're always going to use. So these are really, really useful for you. And because they are the builder block and they're multimedia dies, they're going to cut multiple layers of fabric really quickly, really easily, and really cleanly. So you don't have to worry that haven't got quite the right angle or anything like that. So they are really well worth having.
So if it runs off, it's your fault, not the fabric that you've cut.
You can't blame your cutting.
You can't blame the cutting.
No, absolutely.
That would be me, slightly running off just towards the end. There you go. So these are normally $29.99 each, but today you're going to be able to get each one of them for $22.49. In dollars, that's $33.71. But if you're a Platinum Inspire member, you're going to get those for $17.99 or $26.97. Now, if you are in the US, both of those will qualify you for the 100 bonus points spending over your $25. But watch out, that runs out on Sunday night. So I like to think that they put that in just because it's my weekend.
Do you think?
I
Especially
think
for
so,
you?
yeah.
I think you should just take the kudos for it anyway.
Yeah.
Whether it was your
Whenever I have a show, I want the 100 bonus points whenever you spend £25 or $25. They've started now, so I think that's the way we're going to have to go on. So Becky, so if you've got these over there, then all 3 of these. So each one, how many dies am I getting in each one of these? So we're looking at the square first.
Yeah, you get 5 in each of the packs. So all different sizes. So the one that I'm going to be doing the demo on is using the half square triangles. So you can see what they look like when you get them in the box. Now, I love the fact that the builder block systems have them in a nice box, and there's a little place for all of your dies to go into. I have a huge box full of my paper craft dies, and they're all a bit of a mess. And I'm constantly sort of rummaging around looking for the right die. This means that everything's going to be kept in the right place. You're always going to be able to find it. So I always think this is a really good way of identifying what you've got.
It's nice that they're not on sticky tape, so that you're trying to get it to re-stick all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I asked a question, and I'm sure other people are asking the same. Why have the corners of the triangles been removed? So why have they not got the full triangle shape?
Full points. Because when we're sewing them together, those little points are the bits that we cut off. They're almost what we call the dog ears. They're the bits of fabric that cause bulk in your stitching and in your finished item. And we would normally just sort of trim those away. But we don't need to trim them away because the dies have been sort of specially made to take that into account. And they've already been made to take into account a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So if you are, like Corrine was saying, sometimes when she sews, she might go off at a slight angle. That's something that I always did, and I found it really difficult keeping to a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I either use a foot that's got a little bar down the side, so you buff your fabric up against it, and it keeps everything at that 1/4 inch seam allowance. Or I put some coloured tape on my sewing machine, just so I've got a visual guide to make sure that I can sort of carry on stitching on that 1/4 inch. But that's why those little triangles have got that little piece just cut out of them. Now, when you take out your triangles or your dies, you'll notice that they're a different colour to your papercraft dies. They're a copper colour, and they're much, much deeper. And that's because you want them to cut multiple layers of fabric, and you'll also be able to cut much thicker fabric. So you'll be able to cut things like leather or suede, which, if you've ever tried having a go at putting a papercraft die on a piece of fabric, you'll find that they just don't, they're just too, it's not that they're too sharp, they're just not deep enough in order to cut properly. So I'm going to cut some triangles using our Jubilee fabric that we've got here. So I've got the cream crowns. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these into little squares, and roughly this kind of size, to cut some of these triangles out. So I'm just going to cut them across, and I'm only doing roughly. Now, if I was doing this at home and I was being sensible, I'd be measuring everything out just to make sure I don't waste any fabric.
And is that better than folding it?
You can fold it. It doesn't really matter. It's entirely up to you. But I just found, because, and I often say this when I'm in, the units that we've got here, the desks that we've got here, are a little bit higher than I'd normally work at. So I find that using a rotary cutter, for example, is a little bit harder because you don't have the right angle. I also find the same when I'm folding fabric. I don't quite get the right angle because I'm a little bit too high. So just to eradicate, or hopefully eradicate any problems, I'm just going to use these pieces that I've already cut.
You're also going to get a bit of bulk, aren't you, at the sides where it folds?
Yeah,
so you're going to eliminate that.
It's not too bad. I think sometimes when you've got something, if you've got very bulky fabric, if you're using something like this cotton, it's very, very light and fine. But if you're using something like a denim, for example, obviously you've got a lot of bulk there. And it will mean that when you sort of, if you're going to be folding that kind of fabric, I would give it an iron. So you're ironing those folds in just so everything sits down nicely. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on there with my die, and I'll run it through my sewing machine. So a sewing machine, I'm going to run it through. Hopefully I'm not going to run that through the sewing machine because that will just ruin it. I'm going to run it through the Gemini, and I'm using my fabric plates. So I've got my clear plate, I've got my metal fabric plate, I've got my fabric and my die, the other metal fabric plate, and then my clear die over the top.
So it's better to cut into your metal plate then on you.
If you're going to be using the builder block system, I would definitely recommend using the fabric plates, because you can see it here. I mean, I've just done that one pass, but I've got a few indentations here, and this is my fabric plate. So these are really thick. I mean, they hardly flex at all. Now, if I was just going to be using my normal plate configuration, which you can do with your Gemini or whichever die cutting machine you've got, you will find that your metal shim does not last as long as it should do, because they're taking a bit of a battering because they are so thick, these dies.
Yes.
So if you're going to be using, I mean, as you can imagine, I use my Gemini and my builder block thing, a builder block system or a bag making die. I probably use them half a dozen times a day, every day. So I'm going through them really quickly. But for anybody that was going to be making a couple of patchwork items and they were going to be using these things, I would definitely say it's worth getting so you've got them. And I even use these when I'm doing my paper crafting because I can't really be bothered to change anything around. I tend to use those as well. I'm lazy. So I've done some of these little triangles. So I've already cut out some other of these half square triangles in the blue. So I'm going to start by stitching these together. So I want blue on one side and cream on the other. And we had somebody that messaged in earlier asking about making a cushion. And this is the cushion that I'm going to be making with the Jubilee fabrics.
So that's the fabric we've got on the show today, isn't it? So that was, if I remember right, that's the crowns on cream.
This is crowns on cream and crowns on blue that we've got. And I'm also going to be using the Jubilee is it the Jubilee, the Palace one as
Yes.
well on there as well?
Yes.
If there's any of it left, because it's been so popular. And I'm not surprised. When I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is not going to last. Absolutely not going to last.
Can you imagine if you get your picnic blanket out on the your Jubilee picnic and you bring out your Jubilee cushion?
Yeah.
It's just going to look...
Well, this is...
Or you need to make your little bag that you've just made in your Jubilee fabrics to take your Jubilee picnic. I mean, yes.
Well, when I was first sort of planning on what I was going to be making, I thought I'd make a Jubilee picnic blanket.
Yeah.
But I ran out of time. So I thought a cushion will be just as good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pin these two together. Now, I don't really need to pin because they're just sort of small pieces. But you can see here where you've got this little notch, this little piece that's taken off that point. So that's the bit we were talking about earlier. Whereas you'd normally have a triangle that would come to a point. You don't need to worry about that because you're not going to need to sew to that very little point. And normally, if you'd cut something out with a triangle, you would have to trim that little, we call it a dog ear, off after you've sewn it together to remove the bulk. Now, because we've taken into account that you already have a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, when you put it through your sewing machine, you're pretty much going to start at that point just there. So you can see we've got a little angle going there, and we were just going to sew down there. And I'm going to do that with all of these. So I'm just going to chain stitch those. So that means I'm just going to sew, I'm not going to stop when I'm sewing the next one. I'm just going to line up the next set of triangles and stitch them all in one line and then trim them off. So it's a good way of sort of sewing everything very quickly.
So that's not your finished row of triangles, it's just a quicker way just to keep going.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So when you're sewing small things like this, so I did one Christmas, I made mini bunting, tiny bunting, like that big. So for that, absolutely the thing I did not want to do is spend ages sort of coming, because normally you would sew here and then you would then stop, you'd lift it up, you'd trim it. I don't really want to do that, so I want to just be a bit quicker at getting it through. So I'm just going to line up each of these triangles and then just
keep
thread
going
them through my machine.
Just
makes it a bit quicker.
Well, while you're doing that, hello Pam E and Sherry Dober, I think it is, they both said hello. And also Carol Ann Hanley is watching us while she's going through her Crafter's Companion parcel that arrived this morning. Ooh. We like those. I wonder what's in her parcel. Is it something from a previous Softer Side show, or is it paper crafting? Which you'll have to, let us know what you've got. I've got 2 parcels sitting outside, and John said to me, do you want me to open them? I went, no, I'll do it when I get home.
Do you know, it's one of the best things about working here, that we get these parcels of the products that we're going to be showing in our shows. And honestly, the thrill of getting this box
it's
full
work
of goodies.
At the end of the day.
Oh, no,
it's a work tool, isn't it?
It's like getting, I don't know, whiteout or Tipp-Ex and Post-it notes or something, but it's not. It's just so exciting, and it's my husband comes home and he's like, "What's that?" I was like, "More stuff, more Crafter's Companion things."
Well, where are you going to put it?
Oh yeah, I get that a lot.
My husband says to me, he said, it's like Christmas every day for you, isn't it? And I went, yeah. So then he feels really hard, because when it comes to Christmas, I've already been having loads and loads of parcels. So yes, so Carol Ann, let us know what you have got. So there you are, Becky. So you've sewn those in a strip. So they could be bunting. They look like bunting, couldn't they?
Yeah, so I've sewn those in a strip, and I'm just going to trim so I've gone back and forth at the end of each of those. So it just means it's quicker. When you're sewing a big long line of when you're sewing the similar thing all the way through, it just makes it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a bit of an iron just to flatten everything out.
Yeah, that's going to give you the straighter edge, isn't it? That's going to give you that crisp finish.
And you do need to make sure you iron. I mean, often when I'm doing shows, I just sort of finger press things down, but because I'm going to be using lots of these little triangles, or they're now squares, aren't they? I want to make sure that they're nice and straight and flat. And one of the things that you find is that everything's a little bit bigger once you've ironed it out. Mm-hmm. So if you do stitch things together and they're not quite flattened, you'll end up with sort of everything's being slightly out of alignment.
But it's going to help with the next stage, isn't it? So when you put the next squares together, they're you're going to be able to line them up much more easily, I think. Right. I should imagine.
So what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that my seam here is folded over against the dark fabric, so it doesn't show up through the lighter fabric. It just makes everything look a bit crisper.
That's the little things that you forget about, isn't it? That's the touches that turn it from handmade into homemade, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's making sure that like you say, you're sewing you're buying the extra pieces behind the dark, not the light.
Yeah.
Because they're the sort of things that once it's finished, you're going to look at and it's going to be really annoying, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to make sure. So I've already put a few together. So I've sewn these together, and they almost make a kind of stripe that we've got here.
It's chevron-like.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to check I've got the same amount on each side. So 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm not going to show you that bit yet. So I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 2 more. I'm going to sew those together. Now the easiest way that I find doing these is sewing them in pairs, and sewing them in pairs in the same ways we did before, almost chain stitching those together, and then putting the pairs all together afterwards. But you could make a large cushion or quilt like this, and you do it all in exactly the same way. So you would start with your sewing 2 of your triangles together to make a square, and then sewing 2 of those squares together and doing them in pairs, and then building them up into strips, and then you would sew all those strips together to make the whole finished quilt.
Yes, it means you're not trying to work them with something too big. It's gradually building up, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of the problems that you may find if you're trying to do something too big, that things stretch and you get things slightly out of alignment. And whilst a millimetre won't make it too much difference here, if each one of these squares is another millimetre out, by the time you've got to the end of a queen-size bed, you're massively out. Yeah. So better to do it this way. So we're going to sew this one, we're going to have it that way, and we're going to put that one that way. So I'm going to sew these 2 together first of all, and then I'm going to sew this piece over to here. So I'm just going to line them up.
Anyway, Carol Ann has got back in touch. She's got her Academy of Colour. Oh, that's a bit special. But she says she has 2 more on the way, and she thinks one is coming tomorrow. So it's definitely a good weekend. So I hope you've watched your first of your videos, Carol Ann, because I've watched all of the first and half of the second, and it's mind-blowing. What Leanne is going to teach you is absolutely mind-blowing. It just gives you another way of thinking, but that is a really, really good purchase. And Shaida, I think that's right, yeah. So he's saying nice to see you on the other side, and is enjoying the show. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you. And yeah, it feels a little bit different to be on this side. But I just have to keep reminding myself that I have to fill in the silences, and it's not the presenter. Yeah. So when they said it was live, I was like, oh yes, that's me talking. So just while Becky's sewing this, I thought we could just have a quick look at these fabrics just again. Would that be a good idea? So first of all, we've got the digital print. So that's absolutely brilliant. So you've got all the flags. Then you have got your teacups in silver. So look at this. Can you see the crowns there shining? That's the metallic in these. So the ones with metallic in, so the digital print is £9.99 normally. Your teacups and all the ones with digitals are £7.49 for your half metre. And then the ones that haven't got the metallics in are your £6.99. So you've got your teacups in silver. You've got your crowns on cream, and you can see the metallic in there. Look, can you see? So this is the first one that Becky was using, and this is the second one. Absolutely perfect. So your crowns on blue. Then you've got your Union Jacks on cream. So this is now your £6.99 for your half metre. Or you can choose your Union Jacks on light blue. I think I like this one. I think that would look nice against something white, because it's going to give you a lovely contrast, isn't it? Really lovely.
It's a really lovely blue colour. You know, we were saying that the RAF kind of colour.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And then this, I think this one appeals to me. I don't know why. I love the navy blue, but it's the Union Jack hearts, which I think is fantastic. So this is Union Jack hearts on royal blue. And I think it's the size. I think that looks like a really usable size.
It does, and from far away it almost looks like it's a kind of Liberty print.
Yes.
You know, it's not necessarily really in your face, it just looks like a nice sort of print there, and as you get closer you can really see what it
it's
looks
one
like.
that draws you in, it makes you go to look closer. And then this one, again, I'm going to have to open it out a little bit more so you can see. So this is, let's go that way up. This is your Palace Gold, and if you look round, I don't know whether it's picking up on the camera, but look round the carriage, can you see the metallic? You can see that, look, can you see that sparkling all the way around the carriages? That is so special. So with this one, you would perhaps position your dies quite selectively on this, wouldn't you? So that would you be picking out certain
Yeah, you could
bits
absolutely
from
do that. And you could, totally use, almost sort of like fussy cutting the shapes that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Or you could, of course, just use these as a plique. You could sort of cut around them
That would look lovely,
and
wouldn't
use, the actual individual images. It's
But
such a beautiful fabric.
I'm thinking like if you had your square, you might position it so that your Tower of London's in the centre of the square, or your carriage is in the centre. Then you've got Big Ben, and we'll call that Big Ben, but it isn't really Big Ben, is it?
No, I think it's called Elizabeth Tower.
It's something, yes. Westminster. Then you've got your guards, absolutely gorgeous. So all of those brand new today, so you can have anything from 0.5 metre up to 8 metres in a single continuous length, depending on what you order. So they all vary from $6.99, $7.49 or $9.99 for your digital print. So yeah, pick those and then you could be making that.
Yeah. So I love this fabric, and I found it really difficult to cut it up. So what I did is I used that as a main panel of my cushion, and then I've got a little strip of fabric here, which I'm just going to leave that, it's almost like a little flap, just a little bit of interest. And then down the side, I've got my little half square triangles. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side here. Now, the way I've done this little piece of trimming, I suppose, is this is another strip from our fabric strip, so in the really dark blue, and I've just ironed it in half, and then I'm just going to attach it to the side here. So I would just pop it down here, and then I will then put my my little triangles down here as well. So I'm going to sew everything together in one go. So this makes it really quick and easy for you to put in a cushion together. And then I'm just going to do an envelope back on the back of it, because we don't need to worry about doing any kind of zips or anything like that. I just saw an envelope back. It's nice and quick and easy. And this is a simple cushion. Whilst it looks a little bit more complicated than some of the cushions perhaps we've done in the past, it's really simple for you to put together and really, really quick.
I think the way you've explained it, you've broken it down into steps, isn't it? So like your centre's nice one panel, do the strips and just keep each piece at a time, isn't it? Really keep it simple. Anyway, Shaida has been saying she loves watching you, Becky, which is lovely. And she said last week she received the mini patchwork templates and can't wait to try these.
Oh, they're great. They really are good. So they're all made out of acrylic. They're small templates. You can make some really beautiful items out of those. And they're so handy. They're just the right size. They work perfectly with our strip rolls. So you can cut out all of your different shapes just using those strip rolls. So you don't have to use up a big chunk of fabric. So nice and simple to do. But you're going to have a lovely time. You'll have to send us some pictures and show us what you've been making.
Yes, we'd like to see that. And Marge Wood says she's enjoying the show. She has some of the fabric dyes and trying to build up her courage to use them and make something. Well, maybe Becky's going to give you a little bit of inspiration.
I have the same problem, because sometimes I buy fabric because I love it, and then I can't bear to cut it. And I've got boxes and boxes of fabric, which I've got fabric that I've probably had since I started at art college, and that I never used because I liked it so much, which seems utterly ridiculous.
But you'd like it so much more if it was a cushion or on the bed, or you've made a bag out of it that you could use.
No, I'm a stroker.
Yeah.
I've said this before, I like a bit of fabric to stroke, and I've got some beautiful Liberty print fabrics that I don't want to do anything with apart from stroke. It's very strange.
Yeah. I can totally get that, because, I'm not a sewer myself, but my aunt's a big sewer and my mum does quite a bit. And when I see them together, they open up the fabric wardrobe that my aunt has, and then they just go, you know, they ooh and ah through the whole of the wardrobe of the fabrics. And yeah, I've seen that, yeah. Fabric wardrobe. Sounds very grand, but basically it's a cupboard. It's a cupboard with all the fabric in.
Well, fabric means it holds so many memories, doesn't it? Because you know you can sort of use a piece of fabric in a project, and someone will go, oh, you know, that was Dad's shirt, or that was Granddad's T-shirt, or whatever. So we were talking about memory quilts, where people have used T-shirts. From, you know, they no longer want to wear, but they want
T-shirts
to
that don't fit.
Yeah,
yes.
And I think that's such a lovely thing to have something tangible as a sort of memory that you can have. It's really nice to have. So you can see I've just done that side panel here. So I'm going to give everything a press again, and
so
I'm going to trim this.
You've got that navy blue flap.
Yeah.
Post outwards or inwards?
No, going to go inwards,
Go
so
inwards.
you can see, but you could do it either way actually. I just thought it made it a little bit more interesting, so I'm just going to fold that over. So they're both going to fold inwards onto that big patterned piece of fabric. But you could use, in fact, I've got a cushion down here to show you later on that's been made using some of our scalloped dies, and it's made very much like this, where you've got these sort of flaps of fabric overlaying each other, almost like fish scales.
We're going to look at those next, the decorative dies.
Oh, the next time, excellent. So, you know, they're just something a little bit different. I just thought it would be quite a nice cushion to make.
So the same as when you were doing making up your square strips, are you ironing your seam underneath where the navy blue will go so that it hides?
I am, but also that's sort of how, because it's quite thick now, that's sort of how it's going to fold because of how I've sewn it. But yeah, that is the way I'm going to do it. So it looks a little bit more you know, sort of finished off. So we've got an overlap over here. I'm just going to trim that off, and then down here as well. And then we're going to put the back onto the cushion.
Do you trim that off now or after you've put the back on?
I'm going to do it now. Yeah.
Right. I didn't know whether you did it after you've sewn everything together.
You can do, but sometimes it can get folded underneath when you're putting your...
Get a bit chunky and a bit lumpy,
so it's better
and
just to
bumpy.
trim it. So I'm just going to trim it down to here.
Those look like sharp scissors.
They're not my normal fabric scissors. I can't find my fabric scissors, and I'm going to blame my children, my husband.
Do you think they've used them for something else?
Yeah.
Do they know the penalty for using your scissors?
They do, yet they still go ahead and willfully use my fabric scissors for all sorts of things, and they think it's funny. They think it's really amusing.
No, it's not.
No.
I don't have fabric scissors, but I have ribbon scissors, and if somebody was to cut a piece of paper with my ribbon scissors, I mean, I've even tied a piece of ribbon onto my ribbon scissors so that everybody knows they are ribbon scissors, and you know.
I've done exactly the same thing. So my scissors have a red ribbon on them, my fabric scissors. But who knows where they've gone? And they know the penalty. They know the penalty.
So are you sewing that onto the way it's going? You're not doing that wrong side?
No, I am going to do it wrong side. I was just folding it round just to make sure it all met. Okay.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
So yeah, it's just an envelope. Back
like a pillowcase, basically.
Yeah.
Just like you would have on your pillowcase, but
exactly.
more central rather than at the top like you would with your pillowcase.
Yeah, so we're going to do it right sides together. So I'm going to... I've already stitched, I've just folded over this edge here and I've overstitched it, so I just want to make sure that those right sides are together as well. So ideally I would have done this in blue cotton, blue thread, but I didn't have any with me, so I've just used white. But then you can see what I'm doing.
Just say it matches the fabric.
Yeah. It's a design feature.
Yeah,
that's what we're going
contrast
to say.
trim, you know, like really posh suits have the, like your pinstripe on your posh suits, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I've actually the backing is a little bit bigger than the actual cushion cover, and that's fine because I can just trim that off. So I'm just going to match up these areas over here, and I'm going to sew all around. Now, when you're sewing this, you don't have to worry about leaving a gap for turning, because obviously you've got a gap here.
You've got the middle, haven't you?
So it's nice and easy to do. And this is why, doing a cushion cover like this is an ideal sort of first-time project because it's simple to do. You don't have to worry about matching up a zip or anything like that, or putting any buttonholes in it.
I love how you break it down into the bits, though, isn't it? So you've got the strips. You do two triangles together, make a square. Two squares together, make your first rectangle. Build up your strips. 2 of those, and you're building it up step by step instead of trying to lay out a whole quilt or a whole pillowcase. And
and you need to think of it in sort of, and it's a bit like papercraft, isn't it? If you were faced with, you've got to make this shaker card from scratch, you would never know where to start. But you would, if you start breaking it down, you're like, okay, that makes sense. So it's the same sort of thing, just breaking it down into small parts. So I'm just going to trim that. So I'm just turning it around the other way so I can just see that that's not quite straight. So I'm just going to give that a quick trim with my rotary cutter.
We're using here these are the half square triangles, are they?
Yeah, half square triangles, yeah. But you could, of course, use a mixture. You could have down there, you could use the squares and the quarter square triangles and the half square triangles. You could use the whole lot, all in the, to make the same size kind of strip. That would be no problem at all. And actually that would look really good if you're going to do like a table runner maybe for your Jubilee party. You could do use all those different fabrics going all the way round. In the different sort of sizes of the squares and triangles. I love the thought that's gone into your hypothetical Jubilee party. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have one, aren't
We're all coming to your hypothetical Jubilee party because we want to see our cushion. We're all going to sit on our Jubilee quilts with our Jubilee cushions each. And you're going to bring our picnic to us in a Jubilee picnic basket.
Well, when we had, when it was William and Kate's wedding, because we all had a day off, didn't we? I had a party, and my friend is a cameraman, and he was filming the wedding, and he said to me, if you want, you can come and watch the wedding, and I was really quite excited, and I thought it'd be fantastic, and I turned it down because I was too busy decorating my house for my royal wedding party, but I wore a crown all day long. As you do. And
you do that every day of the week.
Yeah. So I had a very similar dress to the dress that, not the wedding dress, but the dress that the Duchess wore for her engagement, the navy blue one. So I wore that all day. And we had, I think I'd even sort of found out what the menu was. It was in the newspaper, and I think they had an elderflower and lemon cake.
Yes,
so I made an elderflower and lemon cake.
I remember
that.
So
being in my garden, was just like being at the royal wedding. So if you hadn't managed to get an invitation, you could come to my house and it was exactly the same. It wasn't, it was different. So I think if after I've done that, I've got to do a proper Jubilee party.
You have, haven't you? Yeah. We're all coming to yours.
Yeah.
And
everyone at mine. But only if you wear a crown.
That should be fantastic. So these are, each of your builder blocks are $22.49 today with 25% off. So you've got the choice of your square expansion pack, your half square triangles, or your quarter square triangles. So $22.49 each, or $33.71. But if you're a platinum member, or if this is the first time you've purchased today, then they're going to be $17.99 each, or $26.97. And remember those prices, if you have over £25 in your basket today, you're going to get 100 bonus points. And all your bonus points do add up, and very soon you will be getting yourself closer and closer to that goal of being a permanent platinum member. So so go for that. So click on buy the show, and then you'll be able to see all of the options. I understand the squares is the busiest, the most popular today. I'm liking the triangles. I think don't know. I think I'd go for the half square triangles personally. I can see the use I could get out of those if I did sewing. I've got a machine, but
you don't sew.
Do
you have time?
I can sew. There isn't time to perfect it. I can sew. I know how to thread my machine. I know how to use my machine, and I know how to change all my stitches and the speed and the stitch length and all the rest of it. I'm just not very straight.
No. Well, I I think, I don't know if you heard me saying before, I'm the same as you. When I sew, I go off at a little bit of an angle, and I think it's where I lose concentration.
Yeah.
So I have a little foot on my machine that has a bar down the side. So you butt your fabric up against that bar, and it means you always sew at an exact 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So it just makes everything a bit easier. Or you could also put a piece of tape down in your sewing machine, and then you can make sure that you keep an eye on that, and then that will make sure that you keep to 1/4 of an inch seam allowance.
I mean, lots of years ago, I made the first quilt with what do you call it, pleating all the way down the edges for my daughter for a cot, and I've made what do you call it? Is it a Venetian blind where it comes down and you let it down? I've made one of those. I was quite
That's quite impressive.
Yeah.
When you say you can't sew, you quite clearly can.
Okay, I don't sew.
We'll
I
have
don't
to
sew.
swap. You could do this one.
All right, no.
So I've finished off this cushion now, so you can see how that looks. So it looks a little bit different to the normal kind of everyday cushion, but you can see how simple it is. And I really wanted to sort of showcase this fabric, because I think this fabric is just the sort of most iconic kind of London fabric. So pop your cushion pad inside there, and that's going to make you a lovely cushion for you to sit down for your picnic for the Jubilee.
That'd be perfect, wouldn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, maybe that could be demo of the show. It's got something finished.
Oh, I want a star. I'm so disappointed I don't have a star on the chart.
I haven't even got. Come on, I haven't even got my name on the chart.
It took about 2 or 3 months for me to get my name on there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to talk to, but I need to talk to the right person to get my name on the chart, because even if I got a star, there's nowhere for my star to go.
Oh, you'd have to wear it. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely beautiful. That was our builder blocks. So after that, we're now going to look at our decorative borders. Now, these are multimedia dies. So you have the 2 packs. So you have got you've got your chevrons and your scallops. Absolutely perfect. Now, just a minute, I just let Becky finish. Sorry, just finishing off. So we've got a 30% saving on these. So normally they would be $19.99 each one, but today you're going to get them for $27.98 or $34.93. And if you're a platinum member, then you're going to get those for $22.38 or $27.94. So how do we use these, and what are they for? Or how do they work, Becky?
Okay, well, I thought I'd show you some sort of finished samples first of all, the kind of things you can do with them. So this is a little quilt that we've got, and this is just being used as an edge. So this is the chevron one, so it's just being used as a pretty kind of trimming on the edge of a quilt. So that's one option you can do. And then this is the one that I was talking about earlier when I was saying about having those sort of strips of fabric, and then they're sewn together, but you've got these sort of overlaps. So this again is the chevron one, but it almost creates a kind of sort of mermaid.
It does, doesn't it? I'm thinking that fish scales.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, if you're going to be making a sort of a mermaid blanket or something like that, this would be an ideal item to put in your basket.
What I'm thinking of, have you seen reading cushions that you can make for children?
Yes.
I keep thinking perhaps that's why I need to make a reading cushion for my grandsons, because they read like nobody's business. And that would be a lovely edge to the pocket for your reading cushion, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. It's
because
really...
do the dies just cut on one side then? Because you've obviously got quite a deep...
you cut they're quite deep, but you would cut multiple layers, so you cut 2 layers, or you'd say, when I show you later on, they're sort of this kind of size. So you fold your fabric over the top, so you can cut sort of long pieces, but you want to cut 2 and you sew them together to finish them off. But of course, if you wanted to cut these out of something like faux leather, you could do that. Ooh, and that would be, you know, nice sort of finish to a bag. So that's the cushion. But if I show you some of the others, so we've got this one here. So this one has been used with the faux leather, but we've actually used two pieces and then sewn it together. So that's just a bit of a trimming on a bag that we've got here.
So that's a scallop border on that one?
That's a scallop border, yeah.
That looks lovely, doesn't it?
It does, and it just gives it a little bit of a lift. It's a little bit of something else. Now these kind of sort of shapes, the chevrons and the scallops, would have been like really kind of quite normal kind of decorative shapes, but cutting them by hand would be awful. I mean, even sewing them is something that you need to spend a bit of time on. You need to be quite careful doing that, so you get this nice sort of curve to it. But if you don't have to worry about the actual cutting of it, it makes everything a lot easier.
Doesn't it make the join on the seams so much neater when you've not got that straight line? And I just think it just makes everything look so much neater.
Absolutely, totally. And then we've also used it as an applique. So we've used it on this table runner. So we've used it at the very edge, like a little sort of frilly kind of border, but we've also used it as part of the applique. So there's lots of different applications you can do with this.
And then looking at your stitching on there, is that done with something like the stencils that we're going to look at later?
That's exactly right, yeah. So
I spotted that there.
You can probably try, can you see that there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you see. So when you put your, when you want to do some quilting, so you put your stencil over the top, you use your heat erasable pen to mark it out, and then when you take it off, you're just going to be using your sewing machine and your free motion machine embroidery foot to sew around. Now this is been done really beautifully. When you start doing free motion machine embroidery, it's a challenge to make everything nice and smooth. So don't feel that you haven't done a good job if you don't get something looking as beautiful and as smooth as this. It does take a little bit of time to get that kind of technique. But yeah, with all those different stencils that we do have, you can have all sorts of different patterns. And you don't need to do a whole pattern. You might just want to do little sections. If you were going to be using the builder block system and maybe those little squares, you might want to just do a quilt with all those squares and then do a little bit of machine embroidery in one or two of those squares with a variegated thread and just using a plain colour fabric.
That would look pretty,
so
wouldn't it?
that is something really simple to do but can look really effective.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So you're going to get 3 dies in each one of your packs. So again, these should normally be $19.99 each, but you're going to get both packs. That's 6 dies in total for your $27.98 or $22.38 if you're a platinum member or it's your first order. So yes, so absolutely perfect. You're going to get 3 of the different sizes. So how they vary is, if you can see, it's the size of the element. So you've got quite a big one there, it's a little bit smaller, and then obviously look, you can see the chevrons here are smaller. So you're not going to try that smallest chevron. Not chevron, scallop. You wouldn't go for your faux leather in that because it'd probably be too tough. You'd probably go for one of your larger ones, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's picking the right size for the material that you're going to be using. But again, these are multimedia dies, so don't just think of them for fabric. Then you've got your other materials that you can go through. You could go through your cork, you could go through your leather, you can go through maybe if you've got some 300-400 GSM cardstock, then you're going to be able to use these for those as well. So yeah, these are absolutely perfect for your fabric, and as Becky says, you're going to be able to do multiple layers in one go, but just remember they're multimedia, so you've got so many more things that you can use them for.
Absolutely. So I'll show you how they work. So they're very simple. Once again, I've used some of our fabric strips. I use these quite a lot for things like this because it just makes everything a lot easier. And I'm just going to lay this out. I'm going to do 2 of these so I can sew them together and show you what they look like. So I thought using this kind of frill reminds me of the kind of frills that you would have at the bottom of an apron, an old-fashioned apron.
Yep.
So I had a little look and I found some designs for aprons that would have been worn in the 50s when the coronation first happened. So I'm going to make a little replica.
I think they're coming back more and more. People are wearing pinnies. I call it a pinny.
Yeah.
I call it a pinny more and more. Do you know what I sometimes do when I'm cooking? But mine's more of a white, clean one.
But you used to... so Corrine and I, we've known each other for quite a few years, haven't we? Yeah. And you used to wear a little pinny when you worked for another company. And I always think pinnies are quite good when you're dealing with glue and anything like that, because you get messy, don't you?
A couple of years ago, I went to my mum's, as I've mentioned, over in France, and I went to see her friend, and and we were making some flowers together. I was on holiday. I had my holiday clothes with me. Brand new, you know, you buy your clothes for your holiday, always brand new. I was making flowers and I dropped one of the flowers and the glue landed here, right in the centre. I quickly wiped it off, but then carried on, and it was hot. We're out in France, it was really hot. time I got home, that glue has never come out of that top, and I got glue on it on the first wearing.
Oh, that's
smack big in the
annoying.
middle. So you can't hide it. It's not like here where I could put a brooch or a plique something
or a
over.
flower that you've made.
A flower, yeah, no, absolutely. Right, sorry, while you were showing that.
I completely understand. I think, you know, it's the same thing. You want to keep your nice clothes nice, but you don't want to get anything else mucky. So what I've got done here, so I've got my fabric plates and I've got my dye. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this out. So I'm using 2 layers and I'm just going to fold it over when I get to the edge of that die. Now I'm going to give this a quick iron just to make sure I've got a nice sharp edge.
Square edge?
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, if you didn't, you could go off.
Yeah.
At an...
And you'll also find a little bit, you know, you'd almost want, so you can just see it peeping out here. Yeah. But when it goes through the machine, obviously it's going to be flattened out and you end up sort of, it pushes it slightly.
Doesn't
yeah,
it?
it does.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give that a quick iron and then I'm going to tape it onto my...
I thought you were going to iron it on your metal plate then. I was going to say, wow, that's going to get really hot.
Yeah, I have done that in the past when I've not been thinking, or I've tried to iron without switching my iron on. I do that quite a lot. And I'm thinking, why is this not working?
Yeah, I tried to charge my mobile phone last night without plugging the charger in.
Oh.
Really didn't charge.
No, funny that.
No, didn't charge. And I couldn't work out why.
Oh, we all do silly things, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, there was 2 chargers in the wall already and I picked the 3rd charger and without realising it wasn't.
A long time ago, so in my husband's office, there was a lady who was a little older and not used to using computers, I think is fair to say. And she said, my computer wasn't working. And we said, okay, well, just switch it on and off again, shut it down and switch it on and off again. And she said, no, it's just not working. Nothing's happening. It's not working. I can't switch it on. Can't switch it off. It's just, you know, pressing the button. Nothing's happening. And we said, are you pressing the screen? And she's just been pressing the screen on and off. Yeah. First of all, so that was one thing we identified as being a problem. And then we said, so what are you doing? She said, I'm switching it off at the plug. And we were like, okay, let's have a look. She's not switching it off at the plug. She's switching the air freshener that's been plugged in on and off. I'm wondering why the computer's not doing anything. So we all do these crazy things when we're not concentrating. Yep.
Oh dear, yeah. There's only a few that we will admit to. Only a few. Anyway, Marge Wood says she loves your lovely cushion cover. So that is great. And Rhonda Crawley on YouTube. I worked this one out. FMQ, free motion quilting, yes? Yeah, FMQ is not so easy. It takes quite a bit of practice, but the outcome is pretty amazing. I think that's often with a lot of these things, is things that are going to look wow, you've obviously got to practice at, because if they were easy, I don't think you'd get the same wow, would you?
No.
You just wouldn't get the
and
same.
And it really is talent. Being able to, or being able to do anything is a talent. No, even if, you know, you think of someone plastering a wall, I mean, if anyone's had to do that themselves, they realise how difficult that actually is, but it looks dead easy, doesn't it? But yeah, you're absolutely right. Free motion quilting is really hard. It's not easy
Becky,
at all.
if you could just bring that die back in. So there was only a cutting blade on one side. So you've made that, what, about 2 inches deep, your scallop?
Well, so
if I had got a piece that was, say, 5 inches deep, I'd just put it on the edge and then my piece of fabric would be
That's
long.
absolutely right, yeah. But because this fabric is a 2.5-inch strip from the strip pack that we've got, that's what we've done. But yeah, you could put this, I mean, you could make it any kind of size. You could have it almost like a scarf.
But that's the advantage of only having the one cutting blade, isn't it? That you can make it as deep as you want.
That's absolutely right, yeah, absolutely right.
Perfect.
So you can see I cut 2 pieces now, and they're exactly the same, so I cut them at the same time. So we were saying...
what was that going through? It went through
probably
2, 4, 6 pieces at
maybe
once.
even 6 pieces altogether.
Yeah.
And it's cut perfectly. It's not a problem at all.
It's not frayed, it's not pulled, it's...
No, it's really good. But if you were going to be using this just as one piece, we weren't going to be stitching it, and you're going to be sort of using it as a plique, I would iron some kind of bonder web onto the back of it to stop it from fraying, because you will find that, I mean, if you looked really, really close, you could probably see it slightly frayed here. And if you're going to keep this raw edge, you over time, especially on a cushion or a blanket or something like that,
it's going to wear,
it would
isn't it?
wear. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to now put this together. So I'm just going to just match everything up and put a few pins in it and show you a little piece as to how you sew around this. So we're just going to sew around these actual curves.
So you're going to sew the curved side rather than the straight side.
That's right. And this is the bit that's a little bit, it takes a little bit of fiddling around, and you want to take a little bit of time to do this. But it is well worth it. So I'm just going to cut that in half, just do this little piece here.
So Rhonda's saying, can you use the multimedia dies in the MIDI machine? So MIDI is the manual one, isn't it?
No.
What plates does the MIDI have?
The MIDI, yeah, you should be able to fit that on the MIDI. Let me find a MIDI plate and check for you. Hold on 1 second.
They're labelled, aren't they?
There we go. Oh, not quite.
Could you put it in diagonally?
You could.
There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, they would go through.
But that's probably is that one of the long, they're different sizes anyway.
That's the longest one, yeah.
I think the question is multimedia dies per se rather than those.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would just say that because you're using the, you just have to make sure you've got some kind of metal plate in there. So we do have metal plates that you can use.
So is that a hinge or is it
separate? Yeah, so this is a hinged
right,
plate
so you can't
here.
change the depth, can you? So that's possibly why you might not be able to do that.
No, but I think you can get other plates that go with them.
We'll have a look. I will try and find that one out for you, Rhonda, and get back to you, because I've not yet used the MIDI. I've only got as far as the Pro, the Gemini, and the Gemini Junior. I'm working my way slowly down. I can see Craig. We're going to ask for a break in a minute, and I will quickly go now. Oh, there's lots of plates.
There's lots of plates in there, but I think they all seem to be plastic. So again, I use the normal A4 one because I tend to use much bigger dies.
You'd definitely be able to do your Junior.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I will ask Craig in a minute. Can we change it so that we can use mixed media? Because they're just that little bit thicker. That's the question. They're just that little bit thicker. It's not the size, it's the thickness. So we'll find out for you. There we go. Promise we'll do that. So there we go. You sewing that up so you can show us how we do that then, Becky. Thank you.
So I'm just going to do it quite slowly. So as I've sewn down the vertical parts, and then I've left my needle in, and I'm going to lift up my foot, and I'm just going to turn my fabric, and then as I'm sewing around the curve, I'm just going to do that really, really slowly.
So would you do each curve as a single piece, if you know what, do you know what I mean? Try and sew in one go without stopping for the curve?
No.
And then, no?
I just sew a couple of, as you can see, I'm just sewing a couple of stitches at a time, because that gives me the chance to manipulate the fabric around.
Right.
Because you don't want to go too fast. You want to make sure that you're keeping your fabric in the right place. And I'm using the foot that I use that keeps my 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you can see just doing a couple of stitches and then turning it. And if I needed to, because I'm keeping my needle dropping down into my fabric, if I needed to lift up the foot to move everything again, I could do. So just do 1 or 2 stitches at a time. So it does take a little bit of time to go round, but it's worth it, otherwise you don't get the nice
finished
curve.
results are going to be so impressive, aren't they? So when you finish. That's another thing you need to remember. So you started with 2.5 inch strip. You've taken off your 1/4 inch, so we're getting down to about 2 inches when this is finished, aren't we? Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why it's quite handy that you can make them as deep as you want.
Yeah, and they're very versatile, and you could, of course, use them for paper crafting.
Of course,
as well.
yeah.
You know, so
they are just mixed media dies, aren't they? And you know, we were saying your cork, your faux leather. I used to use faux leather paper. I used to love working with faux leather paper.
Faux leather paper? I've not heard of that.
Oh, I love faux leather paper. Really good. And you can sew it. You can sew faux leather paper. You can wash faux leather paper. Oh, it's amazing stuff. So yeah, these would look amazing on that.
So I've sewn around the edge here. Now what we will do is, because we've got curves, you can either trim around the curve, right, close, not too close to the stitching line, or you can just do some little cuts in, and that allows the curve to sort of pop out. When you get to this little point here, you will need to cut in almost to the stitching point, so you get that nice little curve. And I'm also going to just trim away a little bit of excess fabric there, so you get that nice point. So you just need to do...
It's just to get, so there's no bulk when you turn it the right way out.
So you want to go around the curves nicely. So down there, a little bit more here.
That's where your sharp scissors really come into their own, isn't it?
That's where my fabric scissors would have been great.
You're not bitter or angry at all, are you, Becky?
Well, you know what? Scissors are quite expensive.
They are. They are.
You know, and I do think I'm going to go home and I'm going to find them sitting on the dustbin when my husband's used them for doing the recycling and chopping them up. And I will not be happy. In fact, maybe that's what I should have asked for Mother's Day. Scissors.
Scissors.
That's a boring present, but actually a present I would have really liked. So I've just trimmed around there. So now we're going to turn these right way round. And again, this takes a little bit of time, so you just want to sort of gently push those little curves out, like so. Like that. I don't know if you can hear there's a reversing truck.
Is that what it is?
Just behind my head, yeah.
I thought something's buzzing.
I should have said, oh no, that's me, I'm just making that noise. There you go. So you
this vehicle is reversing.
Yeah. At least they're not saying that. So you can see how that looks now. So that those
and then
curves.
just work those through.
And then I would generally sort of top stitch over the top, but you want to give this a bit of a press as well. So when you're folding everything through, if you just use your finger just to sort of rub against the stitching, that will then open up or sort of move all the fabric across those seams. You could also, if you've got sort of like a sharp point, so if you're using the chevron one where you've got sharp points, you want to cut into that little point, that little corner, and you may want to use a pin just to sort of poke out that little point, or even like a chopstick or something similar. So that's the kind of thing that you're going to do. But I've already done some. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. So I thought I'd use the beautiful fabric, the teacup one. So I was going to use this for my cushion, not my cushion, my apron. So this is my absolute favourite one, I have to say. I think this is gorgeous, really, really lovely.
So that's your teacups on silver at $7.49. And the digital print, just so that you know, I've got this one here. I haven't seen it open out. Let me just open it out. Now this is 50% gone, half the stock gone. Oh, I love that with the hearts, with the Union Jack heart. Everything just works together, doesn't it? So that's going to tie up. Look at that, absolutely perfectly with that smaller one, because you've got the hearts in there as well. So that is 50% gone. So if you want that, and if you get basically 2 panels in your half metre. So think about how many panels you might want. Would you ever consider cutting those out and making that into bunting?
Yes, and I did that earlier on today. So
Did
yeah,
you?
absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely the thing to do with that. You can make sort of double-sided bunting, and it's quite big. I think we didn't actually measure it to see how big it was, but it's quite a good size. So it's certainly great for sort of putting. It's all, for me, it's all about that Jubilee party, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's going to go around the outside of your your party.
Can I just ask, Marge Wood on Facebook is saying, I'm curious, when you make that kind of cushion cover, I think she means the first one that we did, would you ever make the back panels a little bit puffier to fit the pillow in?
Yes, well, I always make the cushion covers a little bit smaller than the actual cushion pads, so they stay nice and puffy. Now, I always have a fold over of those 2 panels around about 10 centimetres. So you've got plenty of space. So if you've got a really puffy cushion, you're not going to hide that. But you absolutely could do it. Or if you wanted just to do a zip at the top. My mum's bit lazy when she comes to doing cushions, and she just makes them and just finishes them off. She doesn't even allow, you know, there to be any, you know, opportunity to change the cushion. She just sews them into what, no, sews the cushion pad into the cushion, and then that's done. And then if you ever want to change them,
or
you need to put the whole cushion, or wash them. You have to unpick it. But you know, we end up looking at cushions, and we're like, what's in that cushion? And it's like 3 or 4 cushion covers all
So when you change it, you just put the next cover on top and the next cover. So they gradually get bigger and bigger then, I'm guessing.
More and more puffy.
More and more puffy,
goes on, so what I'm going to do a little pocket for my apron. So I've put 2 pieces of fabric together, and I've put them so you've got, I'm going to sew this onto the apron. So when you use the little pocket, the inside of the pocket also has the same fabric on the outside.
Right, yes.
So it looks right.
Yeah.
But what I thought I would do is have this here, this little trim.
So it's not on the top, it's going to be on the front of the...
Yeah, it's going to be sort of an inch or so down. So I'm just going to pin that. And I'm going to, you know, it's a little bit too wide, so I'm going to trim that after I've sewn it together. So I've not followed a pattern for this. I've just made it up as I went along.
That's often the best things are, I think. I think sometimes, you know, because you can tweak it and you can adjust it and it will come out absolutely perfect. So this is the Jubilee teacups in the silver metallic. So when you look at these, let me just remind myself, the crowns and the ER are all in that gorgeous metallic, well, not thread, but that gorgeous metallic print. And this is £7.49 for half a metre. So £15 if you wanted a metre, you know, just put in for your 2 and you're going to get it. It's £5.99 if you're a platinum member. So click on the buy the show and you're going to be able to see your choices of all of the fabrics and pick the one that you like the best. I do like this because, like you say, it's got that Liberty print feel. I still keep going back to the hearts on the navy blue or the royal blue. To me, I still really like that one. Yeah. That's a bit special. So what's this one? This is going to be your apron.
This is going to be my apron. So I've got my large piece of fabric. I don't want to entirely sure how big it was. I think basically I had my half metre and I've used a couple of little pieces of it. But I just wanted to make my apron as big as I could, really, because it's going to be for me. I'm going to wear it for my Jubilee party.
Good.
With my
it's
crown.
It's going to look lovely over your frock with your crown while you're wearing your crown.
So I folded it in half. I'm just going to stitch down either side here. I'm going to leave this edge. Actually, yeah, I'm going to leave this edge open because what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in afterwards, and then I'm going to place my frill, which I've already cut, inside there. So we're going to have this sort of facing underneath, as well as that little pocket.
So will that be at the top of the bottom? Will that be the bottom edge of the...
That'll be at the bottom edge, yeah, the bottom edge of it, yeah. So I'm just going to give it a quick iron again. I just seem to spend all my time lifting this iron up, but I just need to give it a quick iron so it's all in the right place.
But I just love how it shows that, you know, not only are we bringing you the fabric, but we're giving you the dyes to really make those fabrics pop, you know, with the decorative borders or your builder blocks. So, you know, it's not just here's some fabric, go away, but it's here's some fabric and there's some lovely way. I didn't mean, I meant go away and do something with it.
Here's the fabric, go away. Oh, I love that.
Okay, perhaps this might be my only weekend presenting, never mind. So, Mary Pat 1000 on YouTube says, scalloped edges are so pretty. It reminds me of my pink linen dress with the scalloped hem that I made for 4-H eons ago.
Oh.
What's 4-H? Made for 4-H. Ooh. Mary Pat, tell me what's, sorry, 4-H. Four, I'm trying to work it out. Eons ago. I thought it was 4 herons or something, but no, 4-H. It's going to be really obvious when she comes back and tells us.
I don't know what that could be.
I don't know. Mary Pat, please tell us. Yeah. We're desperate to know. Because she made her own pink. She made it herself. So I think we need a picture, if she's got one, but we also need to know what 4H is. I'm sorry. No, hopefully she's going to tell us very soon. So you're definitely going to look the part, aren't you?
If I'm wearing all the things I've talked about and I do all the things I've talked about for this.
You're not going to work for a month before the Jubilee, are you?
I'll probably be working on the day of the Jubilee anyway, so I won't be able to do anything.
It's a big
anyway.
bank holiday weekend though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I.
So basically, in the UK, Whitsuntide bank holiday is a week late, isn't it? And it now becomes something like a 4-day bank holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll all be fighting over having the time off, won't we? we better get our requests in soon. So I've sewn that part there. So this is going to be the top of my apron, and that's going to be the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my my little pocket in first of all. So if I fold this.
So is that going to sew through both layers or just one layer?
Yeah, I'm going to do it through both layers. Because, because I should have done it the other way around. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm making this one up as I go along.
And we love the fact that you're doing that, Becky, because we're all going, wow.
So let's just fold these in here. There you go. Just here.
Ah, there you go. 4H is a youth organisation in the US.
Oh. What, like a WI kind of thing, maybe?
But it's a youth organisation.
Oh, a youth organisation.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. It's 4H Club.
What does it stand for?
I don't know. Just says 4H is a youth organisation in the US.
Oh.
We'll have to look at that.
You learn something new every day, don't you? I think every day's a school day when you're here.
It is.
You hear all sorts of different things. No, we were saying earlier on in the show, I think it must have been the earlier show, that they're not Union Jacks. So it's only a Union Jack if it's flown at sea. So it's a Union flag.
Yes, yes, I've heard that. It's a Union flag, but we all call it the Union Jack. And
yeah.
People who are in the know, I think, can get a little bit cross because it's not a Union Jack. Yeah, Union Jack is something different, isn't it? It's, yeah.
So I'm just going to pin this. So you can see I'm just doing a little pocket here. Now this would be, I've based the size of this pocket on the size of a toffee crisp. Because a toffee crisp. Because I like there to be pockets in my clothes, and I always think about chocolate when I'm cooking. So we can have a little. So I always think pockets are important for chocolate. So we can fit a little toffee crisp, or even a Kit Kat in there maybe. Possibly not Bounty, they're too long.
And a Bounty Duo, and normal Bounties aren't as long anymore.
Do you like a Bounty? Not many people like a Bounty.
Yeah, I like a Bounty. Oh, but if it was a Boost bar, I'd be fighting you for the pinning.
An old Boost bar that had the toasted coconut in it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Or Star Bar with a peanut in.
Or we honestly, anyone, people at home that are watching this, they must think we are starving here. We've got a fantastic cafe here where we have all sorts of lovely food.
Yeah, but you do know Christine's now gone home for the weekend.
Yeah, so we don't have anything at the weekend.
No.
We just have a vending machine. But we're not starving here. But we're always thinking about food and talking about food.
Yeah.
Well, I am anyway.
It's important. Oops, yeah. Catch the scallop in there.
Corrine, a few weeks ago, you had a delicious-looking pistachio curry, which looked really, really good at lunchtime. I was quite impressed with that.
Mine? Yes.
Yeah.
That was chicken pistachio hot pot.
That looked really good.
Mm. What have I got for tonight's tea? I think I brought my risotto in for tonight's tea.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So there's my wonky pocket. Never mind. That's my toffee crisp pocket, and then I'm going to place my just scalloped edge at the bottom of this here. So I'm going to fold this in and trim that here. So probably to here.
Have you measured this so that it's going to finish perfectly on the edge of a scallop?
No, I haven't. No, thanks for that.
Sorry.
No, I haven't done that. I'm just going to fold that over, and I'm going to place that inside there. So I'm just going to sew this. So I'm sure there's a much better way of doing this rather than the way that I've done this, but I've just been making it up as I go along because I wanted to use that
I'm just
lovely fabric.
mightily impressed that you took a piece of fabric and in, what, 15 minutes, it now is about to become a pinny. It's quite impressive.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully it's going to look like a pinny when I've finished with it and not something ridiculous.
All you need to do is make sure you serve plenty of Pims at your garden party for the Jubilee.
Do you know,
Nobody will notice if
like
it's a bit
Pims.
wonky. Don't you?
No, I always think it's, you know, I really miss out because in the summer, that's what we all everyone has Pims, don't they? I don't really like it.
Have you tried it made
headache.
with Prosecco instead of with lemonade?
That really would give me a headache. What, am I going to take away the soft drink mixer and replace it with some more alcohol?
Yeah, it makes for a lovely Pims.
And a lovely afternoon. Yeah. Asleep in your deck chair.
I've lost a couple of afternoons.
No, I've not. It's the actual Pims itself. I just don't get it. I don't really like it. But I don't tend to drink very much anyway. I'd rather have a glass of juice, to be honest. I wouldn't say I'm a teetotaler, but by any stretch of the imagination. But I find drinking in the sunshine that is problematic.
Problematic. That's very diplomatically put.
Well, because I'm part Chinese, I don't process alcohol in quite the same way, and I get, you know, what all my family, we turn the Asian glow. So as soon as we have even a sniff of alcohol, we go bright, bright red. You know, you can't, as a teenager, as a young person, if I was trying to hide that I'd been drinking, it was impossible because you can tell immediately. And my poor son has got the same affliction. So I can tell if he's even had a beer, I can tell immediately. He's quite embarrassed by it.
We all have to pass some gene on to our children. And
yeah, poor thing. He got that one. I don't know what other gene I could have passed on. But apparently he looks like me. I don't know if he does. It's difficult to tell when people say to you, you know, your child looks like you. You can't always see it yourself, can you?
Oh, people say to me how much my eldest daughter looks like me, and neither me nor my husband can see it at all. But everyone says that. There we go. Right, right, so the 4 H's are, just a minute, I'll come back to the, so Mary Pat said 4-H is called 4-H, not 4-H, 4-H. It's a club for youth where I learned how to sew, scrapbook, take pictures, etc.
Oh.
That's really, really good. And the 4 H's are heart, health, head and hands.
Oh.
But that works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you keep your hands and your head busy, your heart, you know, your health is good. Yes, I can just see that's a lovely sort of rounded way. So head, heart, hands and health, it's to learn by doing. It's mostly agriculturally based.
Oh.
So I suppose the UK equivalent nearest I can think of is like the young farmers, maybe, but bit different. Eve B says, I was in that club and never knew that what the H's were for. Obviously, we also did farm stuff in Kentucky. There you go. And she loved, Pam E says she loved her time in 4-H is where I learnt basic horse riding too. Wow.
That sounds lovely. Why don't we have that with something like that?
Do you know what? I think it would be an answer to a lot of problems.
Yeah.
We could go off on a tangent there, but no. So 4-H is heart, health, head and hands. So yeah, keep them all busy and yeah, really, really good club. So we've got sewing, scrapbooking, taking pictures, agriculturally based and farm stuff and horse riding. So very, very, I guess each club would vary from place to place what you do, but that sounds like a fantastic thing to be involved in. I really, really like the thought of that. Yeah, that's really good. So what, you got that sewn in now then, Becky?
So I've got my little frill at the bottom of my, what's it called? Apron.
Yep.
So
you've used the
the
different size scallop on the pocket to on the bottom, which I think that's lovely because by having the 3 in the pack means that you've got those choices, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. And then I've used again some of the strip rolls that we've got to make a little waistband. So I'm going to find the centre point of that. And I'm going to find the centre point of that, which is just
Do you know,
there.
you think to yourself, really technical, find the centre point, but it's quite easy. It's just fold everything in half.
Yeah, exactly.
And hold it tight.
And then I'm just going to sew that onto there.
Perfect.
And then the apron's all done.
How fantastic. You've got 2 demos now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to do a vote before the end.
Whoop, whoop.
Demo of the show, and then you'll go up against our Craig for demo
3
of the
actually.
day.
Did 3. I've done some bunting as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, that was earlier. I
Yeah,
didn't see
yeah.
that.
Now we're gonna have a little bit of a competition to see whether my bobbin is going to run out of.
You think it's getting low, do you?
Yeah, it's going to run out of thread.
And have you
but-
got to do 2 lines with this?
Yeah, I'm going to do. Yeah, they definitely won't be able to do 2, but I can certainly do 1.
How can you tell it's running low? Because it's inside the machine.
Yeah, but you can see it. You can see it.
Can you see it?
And I know I was doing a lot of sewing yesterday here for some videos, and I've done quite a lot this morning as well. So I know that I'm
Yeah, but it's so annoying, isn't it, if you don't spot and you've gone all the way down
Oh,
and then you look back up
so
and there's
frustrating.
there's no stitches, is there? Because your bobbin ran out.
When I was doing
Has it run out?
when I was doing the video yesterday, I just finished my sewing and it ran out with about a centimetre to spare, and I was so proud of myself. Yeah, look, that's not,
It's run out, has it?
yeah, it's run out. So you have to give me a moment while I refill it.
Okay, so if we can recap on what Becky has used. So she has used the decorative borders. So, oops, sorry, you don't have to choose if you want to get this bundle. So it's definitely the best way to get it because you're going to save 30%. And these are there for $27.98 today or $34.93. So that's going to get you your extra 100 bonus points if you buy those. But the platinum price for those is $22.38 or $27.94. So those are your decorative borders. And Becky has been using the fantastic fabric. So she has got, let me get these, the digital print. Now this one, I'm going to quickly go through the prices as we do these. So, 70% gone now. So that is $9.99 for each half-metre length of this. So these are gorgeous cotton fabrics, and I'm seeing lots of there, and I'm also seeing, I think that would make fantastic bunting as well. So that's your digital print. Then our next one that we're going to look at is our teacups, and we said teacups in silver. So this is the mainstay of Becky's Pinny. So, and if you look on here, the crowns there, you can hopefully see, there we go. Can you see that crown? It's just there. And also the ER, or Elizabeth Royal, are all in the metal. Oh, you can see if I just wiggle that, you can see the silver glistening there. They are $7.49, so that is your crowns in silver. Then, teacups in silver, sorry. Then you've got your crowns on cream. So again, all the crowns are metallic. So that's beautiful. So that's again $7.49. Really lovely. I like that because then you've got your crowns on blue. Are you going to use these together? Or are you going to use them separately? This was really classy, isn't it? I think this was really smart. I think that blue and the gold contrast, it really shows up. It's really lovely. It is very regal. Yes, I think they picked the right colours, the regal colours to go with these, haven't they? Then you've got your Union Jacks on cream. And it's not a yellow cream, it's an off-white cream, I'll definitely tell you. So I don't know how your screens are picking it up, but it's more of an off-white than a magnolia, isn't it? So, you know, so just think what you're going to be able to team that with. I'm just thinking that would go lovely with some bright contrast colour. But this one is fantastic. So this is your Union Jacks on blue. Now both on light blue. So both of the Union Jacks are $6.99 for half metre. I've only got that halfway out just so that you can see. How wide are these, Becky?
Yeah, 110 centimetres, is
110
that right?
centimetres, 44 inches, thank you. I'm not up on my... And I felt like it was going to be a standard width, but I didn't know what standard widths were. So there we go. And then, as I said, this is definitely my favourite. This is your Union Jack Hearts on royal blue. And again, this is $6.99 for your half metre length, which is brilliant. I do like this. I think what appeals to me is it's the size of the print and how it draws you in to actually see the heart design. And then the final one, and I've folded each one of these up differently, this is half the stock of this has gone, and this is your Palace Gold. So when you look at this one and you get in nice and close to the carriage, it is all edged in gold sort of print. It's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this would be perfect again for your cushions, for, you know, making your quilts. I think this one looked lovely. Your picnic bags and things like that. Absolutely gorgeous. So those are your fabrics, and we also had our borders. So what have we got then, Becky?
I'm done.
Shahida.
Yeah. So you.
Shahida. Hey, I'm not very good with names. They shouldn't leave me with names. I'm really sorry. I can only apologise. Is loving this project. So even though you're doing it on the hoof,
completely on the hoof, completely made it up. So here is it's done. So you've got your little pocket, and I've got a nice little thing to wrap around. I can do a little bow at the back. So more of your kind of traditional kind of, can't stand up so you can see it, I have to take it off. More of your kind of traditional.
You'll have to come in front of the sofa, pick up the camera.
In a minute I will. So you can see with all those little, I mean, it just shouts out afternoon tea.
It
English,
does.
Which is essentially English. And pop your
if you wear that, I think I need afternoon tea serving to me between shows, please.
Can I? Yeah. Or, okay. Yeah. I think we should have afternoon tea. That's going to be my comments.
I think the criteria is if we get the show on the Jubilee day, party day, then we have to be allowed afternoon tea here. We could set it up there. We can move the table.
Oh, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and we can maybe.
We'll go with apple juice, sparkly apple juice. We'll take that. That's
as long as we've got scones, cream, and jam. I'm there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put our names down for that show.
Okay. So I'll even make you some scones.
Yes. Scones. Scones.
Scones.
Scones. Scones.
Don't I have this conversation at home? Right now, so give you time to. Check out your baskets. We're going to show you what Club Inspire is all about, because I've probably not really explained it today. So watch this and then you'll fully understand it.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Take all the hard work out of patchwork with the Gemini Build-A-Block Patchwork System. This innovative collection of multimedia dies allows you to create patchwork blocks with ease and total accuracy. This set includes 18 dies to cut a range of shapes and sizes for patchwork or quilting projects. They can cut multiple layers of fabric at once. They include an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance, plus all of your pieces are cut exactly the same size every time. Follow your own creative inspiration or look through the 20 patterns laid out in the guide. Not enough? There's an additional 60 patterns online. And right now, we have amazing offers on the Gemini Build-A-Block Patchwork System. Quick Buy, get yours now. Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Right, so welcome back, and now we're going to look at our Multicraft alphabet, number and punctuation dies. So you're going to get 73 dies in total. Now they are all, it says on here, they are all 2 inches high. So if you buy this collection, we're going to save 25%. So it should be $119.97, but you're going to get it today for $89.97 or $101.13. But clearly a lot less if you're Platinum member. So there we are. You've got your 26 alphabet dies, 26 of course. I was a bit worried if it had said 25 or 27. I'd have been, oh dear. Then you're going to get 28. Right. I've just sussed out why. I can see why. You're going to get 28 dies for your lower alphabet because you're going to get the dots on top of your I and your J. I think that's what it's going to be. I was just looking at that, and that's yeah, I think that's pretty going to be the answer. And then you're going to get your 19 numbers. So we're going to give you your 6 and your 9. And then we're going to give you all of your punctuation. So it's a bit like, is that your ordinals? No, your ordinals are your thuds and your tuz and your, aren't they? That's it. What? Ordinals. Ordinals are your first ST and
okay. You can tell that you've got a daughter that's a teacher.
Why?
Because I would not have known that that was what they were called.
All right. She didn't teach me that. I learned that through crafting, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There we go. So you've got your exclamation mark, your hashtag, your comma, your dash, your question mark, your ampersand, and your brackets, I think. Yeah. We could do our BODMAS. Brackets and all the rest of it.
I'm sure if we made something using all like quadratic equations and things like that, kids would love this. You could do something like that out of felt.
Fuzzy felts.
Yes, exactly, fuzzy felts out of all of those and do sort of mathematical equations. You'd be the favourite grandparent or aunt,
wouldn't you?
Look at this toy we brought for you. You can do your maths homework now.
They'd never come round again. So you're going to get all of these. So normally your uppercase is $49.99, your lowercase is $39.99, and your numbers and punctuation is $29.99. But today you're going to get them for $89.99. So you will have saved £30, which is the equivalent of your numbers. If I'm trying to do my quick maths there, I think that works out.
Yeah,
yes, so it's as if you're buying all of them and get the alphabet too, and you're getting your numbers for free. So I like that. I like anything that tells me I'm getting something for free. So what have you got to show? Have you got anything to show us with these?
So I'm hiding now. I thought I'd just show you a few finished samples.
Oh, that'd be nice, yes.
I was there happily watching you, thinking, actually, I should be getting all the bits and pieces.
You just sort of ducked down, didn't you?
Well, say for the first, I did think I might just hide, but no, I couldn't do that. That'd just be cruel, wouldn't it?
You ducked down to eat your donuts, haven't you?
No. Yeah, George has taken the donuts. I'll have to have a donut later. So there's a couple of things here that we've used the different shapes, the different alphabet shapes. So this little sign, sewing is my therapy. So we've used these as just a plique. We've sewn around the outside. So this is actually done in felt. Now felt is a really great medium to use with these dies because you don't have to worry about sewing the edges. And you also, it's nice and simple for everything to be cutting out, and it carries on looking really good. But we've also got
a nice centre to a lap quilt, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a great idea. And on this, there's a little door outdoor sign, which I think is really nice. And this is using some of our applique animals that we've had on previous shows. And so I've done a couple of demos with those little pandas. But it looks really nice, and being able to personalise something is a really good option, isn't it?
Especially if it's names that aren't common for things, aren't they?
Now, you've got quite unusual names for your children, I
Yes.
thought, and I'd never heard those names before, and it must have been a nightmare when they were young.
Oh, they've
trying to
never
find
had
something with
anything
the names on.
personalised.
No, well,
No.
it's a
And then my
shame.
grandsons are going down the same route.
So we've also used the numbers to make these kind of blocks. So you could do this with your alphabet blocks as well, alphabet letters. So all these sort of different options. But you obviously could then incorporate those into larger items, not just things like this. But
So you could
like,
use,
say, big
would you
quilts.
use your square builder blocks to make that then?
With-
The cube?
Yeah. I think, what size is the biggest square?
The biggest square is 4.5 inches.
Be a bit tight. So that's they're 5-inch squares here, but obviously 5.5. But yeah, you could absolutely do that with those.
The size of the numbers would still fit on, even if you use your 4.5
Yep.
inch.
Yeah, really good idea
build block.
to do. And I quite like those ideas of making your own blocks.
You know
different
that
fabrics that children touch, the different, feel the textures of the fabrics is a good option.
Oh, that'd be nice. You could use different fabrics for each side,
Yeah.
couldn't you? And
Yeah.
really make it sort of tactile and touchable.
Yeah, and that's what kids like, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially when they're very young. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the, this is the flag fabric on cream.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already got some of my letters and numbers. So I'm just going to get those all out and I'm going to run them through the machine.
Oh, you've got a lot there.
Yeah, well, there's a few things I want to say. That sounds really ominous, doesn't it? There are a few things I want to say.
Should we be worried?
You should be scared.
So are you doing single thickness of your fabric or double thickness of your fabric?
I'm going to do single thickness of my fabric apart from one end where I
Right.
need to have multiples, a few cut out. So I'm just going, which way am I going to do it? So if I cut out that way, no, that way, hold on a minute, let's just get this right. So I need to cut a piece of this off to make sure they cut round the right way.
Yes, because otherwise you're going to be back to front, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. If I just cut these like that, I can lay them out. So I'm going to,
Do you think we can work out what she's going to say?
I'm sure you could, because there's a theme going on today, isn't there? There's definitely a theme. Right, let's lay these all out. So I just want to try and get a little bit of the flag in there as well as
Yes.
the white.
Well, this is what we were saying earlier about positioning your dies so that you optimise the, the pattern that you want, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I've not-
definitely where you want to go. So, cut a couple more.
Do you need to turn your, it doesn't matter that your three's facing that way round, does it?
No, it won't make any difference.
No.
And then I want to do an E up here.
I haven't worked.
There.
Oh, you can see, yes.
Can
And
you
there,
guess? Can
and
you
there.
guess? I'm just getting a bit of tape and tape that all down.
Do you just use regular low-tack tape when you're taping onto fabric?
Yeah. Or I use a bit of washi tape if I've got washi tape. But I don't use ordinary tape because it's a nightmare to get rid of. But yeah, normal low-tack tape is absolutely fine. And that works really well.
I know it tapes to paper and card, but I didn't know whether it stuck properly to fabrics.
It's pretty good. It's
The Crafter's Companion one is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's low-tack tape, but it's a little bit more than a lot of low-tack tape.
yes, because some of them are just a little bit pointless.
Yeah.
They're so low tack. You can't really call them.
Yeah.
They are not really fit for use. I don't think. So I'll put that through the machine, and then hopefully
So
everything
just
will
looking at
come
your
up
plate
right way.
combination, you've taken everything out, so you're just using 2 metal shims.
Yeah,
and
the two
of
fabric
the
plates and the 2 clear plates. That's all we use with those, and it works really well. But you can, of course, use the configuration. If you look in your Gemini machine, there is a configuration for using with fabric. But this is just, by using the fabric plates, it just means that everything lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah. Sherry is loving your wall hangings and said they are adorable, Miss Becky, and she's even put a lovely little cute panda face on that you had on there. So that is really sweet. We'd love those too. But I just think seeing them like that, and then you realise all the other things you could be making with them. It's, you know, that could be this, like say, the centre of a quilt, or it could be a tray cover, or you know, anything like that. You know, time for tea, or there could be lovely little placemats on the dining table, couldn't they, if you just put a little bit of extra wadding in, or...
Yeah, there's all sorts of different things you can do. And that's sort of the, you know, once you get these things at home, you suddenly realise, actually, there's lots of stuff I could do. I'm going to run that through the machine again, because I actually cut it on the edge, and they haven't cut out very well, because I didn't put them...
Could you have done with going a bit more centrally?
Yeah. So give me 2 minutes. And
Okay,
I'll just
we
put
can do that.
back on.
Because you've got to remember is when you're going through your machine, if you go at the beginning, it's working out how to go over that hump to get going. Sometimes you just need to pull things down a little bit on your plates to give it time to sort of get going and get working, and you know, and give it time to get ready to be cutting, because it's, you know, there's so much, so it's got to work so hard at that beginning to get through the plates and the height of your dies. I always like to give my plates a little bit of a run in before it hits the dies, because then it just takes your dies that little bit better. But you know, you just have to do, if you have to do that, you have to do that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That should have been something that I did before. I got overexcited. That's
It's
what
okay.
it is.
We'll let you off.
I say get overexcited. I'm getting very worried because I can hear the rain.
Do you know what? I thought it was a fan.
Well, I hope it's a fan. That'd be great if it's a fan. It sounds like it's rain, because
It does sound like rain.
I've had all weather since I've been up here for the last 2 days. It's snowed, it's rained, there's been hail, there's been wind, there's been fog, and it's been sunny.
It's quite cold.
It is rather chilly at the moment, isn't it?
I did make sure, I popped to the house where we stay, and I did make sure the heating was on nice and warm for when I get back tonight after 9 o'clock. I didn't want to be trying to make sure it was cold when I got back. So yes, get it all nice and toasty. Right, has that worked any better? Or do you need to just run it through a second time?
No, that's much better. That's much better.
Sure?
Yeah, that's okay.
Because sometimes it's better to go through before you move them, isn't it? And, I can even see from here that looks a lot better.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just going to trim that little bit just here. So where I think I've got the tape on there. So you can see, cutting them out is quite easy to do. Now, you could always use some Bondaweb on these. So you would Bondaweb you can iron onto the back of the fabric. And then
you do that before you cut them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that gives it a little bit of a sort of an adhesive, and it also stops it from fraying. So it means you can easily adhere it to the item that you're using them for.
And because these are multimedia dies, it's not going to have any problem doing that at all, is it? It will just go through all the layers that you need it.
And if you're going, I always thought, it's quite useful to have those as multimedia dies for when you're doing your card making and you need a number. You don't have to think, I haven't quite got. I've got to buy a new set of dies or a new set of
I think the size of these is really nice. If you're doing a card or like you say a plaque or anything, even scrapbook pages, these are a really nice height. 2 inches high it is a really, really nice height to work with. It's not too fussy. It's going to make a statement on the front of your project.
And you've got a birthday coming up soon, you were telling me.
I have. It's 2 weeks on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And are you doing anything exciting for this birthday?
The day before my birthday, which is Easter Sunday, myself and my 2 daughters are off to the spa for the day, which I should have done 2 years ago for my 50th birthday. But we had COVID lockdown 3 weeks before my birthday. So everything that I'd got planned for my 50th birthday, I was supposed to have gone to the spa. We were going to Corfu for a week. We'd got it all planned, and it all came to nothing.
Oh, no.
So, so going to the spa, and then on the next day, we're going out for a meal.
Oh, lovely.
Because I'm then looking after my grandsons for a week.
Oh, that doesn't sound like much of a holiday. That bit, that sounds like you're going to need a holiday afterwards. You're going to need that spa weekend after that.
Yeah, probably should have done it the other way around. But I'm not here now. I'm not here till they go back on the Friday, and I think it's probably about the Friday afterwards that I'm here anyway. So I'll have a bit of time
so you've got a bit of time.
Rest and recuperate. Yeah, 2 3-year-olds. I will be quite tired by the time I finish, but it'll be good fun. Got to plan lots of Nana things to do.
Oh.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to that. So yes, if they get into my craft room, we've had it. So have you got all of your letters cut out?
I hope I've got all my letters. Right. So I did this little kind of little banner.
It's like giant bunting, isn't it?
It is. What I thought was quite nice to have this hanging on your door to signify you're having a Jubilee party. And I said, I thought it'd be really useful to have this instead of balloons, because balloons, you sort of throw them away after you've used them.
Yep.
And then George pointed out there's unlikely there's going to be another Jubilee party, so you're probably going to do the same thing with this, which is
it'll go in your memory box. It'll go in your memory box with your apron and your cushions, and it'll be there.
It'll be there forever. I've lost my view of my L.
Haven't you?
Hold on a second.
Where's
It's
your
around
L?
somewhere. There's my L. Oh dear, there it is. Just not quite cut out. There's some bends and things in my whatever it's called.
Your plates?
In my plates, and so it does. I probably should have run it through another time. But
have you got another E?
No, I had to do the E twice, and I didn't do that twice, did I? And then I got 220. I didn't do another
What
2.
year are you doing?
2003, apparently. Or 2030. I was going to do 2023.
Why? It's 2022.
Oh dear, look, there you go, like that. So I need to do another E and another.
And 2 more 2s. You want 2 more 2s?
Oh, I shouldn't do anything that involves me counting or doing anything with letters, should I? I'll run those through again. So we're going to do another E and 2 more 2s, but then that would make your little Jubilee pendant. So you could then put a little piece of ribbon up here, and you could hang it on your door to signify that you're having a party, or you could use balloons. But I quite like the idea of doing this.
Right, well, if you want to make yourself a pendant and maybe spell Jubilee correctly and the right year on it, then you can buy this. So this is your multi-craft alphabet. You get your alphabet, uppercase, lowercase, your numbers, your punctuation, and you're going to get all 73 dies in total. So that would be $89.97, saving you £30. And as I said, it's as if you're going to get the punctuation for free. So $101.13. Right, so we now need to look at demo of the show. So please get your votes in, and I'll keep looking on social media. What have you made then, Becky, then, of the show?
Well, I made that, but let's not count that. We'll move that to one side. Let's not think about that one.
Let's count the ones that might win.
So let's start first.
Oh,
so
I missed this.
This is the Bunting.
So this is doing what I was saying from that
from
the fabric.
that panel. Yep. So you've got double-sided bunting.
Wow, I love that.
So we've got the bunting for demo number 1. Then we have the cushion cover using the new fabric. Oh, let's just pop that through there.
So your cushion cover, I like that
cushion
one.
cover.
That looks really smart. I just love the panels down the side.
Yeah, I think it breaks it up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and then we have my vintage apron with your toffee crisp pocket.
Your toffee crisp pocket.
Do they have toffee crisps in America?
They will probably have toffee crisp, but probably called something different.
Yeah. Toffee crisp is a dream of a chocolate bar.
It's toffee and like
Rice Krispies and chocolate.
Yeah.
But what's not to love? It's delicious.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, demo 1 is the bunting.
Yep.
Demo 2 is the cushion cover, and demo 3 is the pinny.
Yep.
Toffee crisp apron.
Toffee crisp apron.
I am being corrected. Get the name Right. So 1, 2 or 3, get your votes in nice and quickly, please, and then we will have demo of the show, which can then go into our demo of the day for this afternoon. So while you're having a look, while you're deciding on that, we have 2 fabric kits. So let me remind myself of these. So these are normally $14.99. So they are limited stock, unfortunately, now. So you're going to have to be quick. So we're on less than 10% because instead of being $14.99, you're going to get the both for $14.99. 50% off, or buy one, get one free. It depends on how you want to look at it. So first of all, you're going to get your mug rug, and then you're going to get your coasters. So these are absolutely perfect. So 2 different ways to use these. So Becky, what am I going to get with this?
So you're going to get a printed piece of fabric which has all of the little pieces you're going to need to cut out. So it's a plain piece of fabric which has been printed with these designs, a little bit like that sort of digital print that we had on
I've got one that's not been cut. Shall I open it out? There we go. There we are. So you've got everything onto there. What I could do, though, is I could make templates out of this before I cut it up, couldn't I?
You could, yeah, you could absolutely. But what you will also get is a special wadding. Now this is a thermal wadding, so it was a heat-resistant wadding. So this is what you're going to be using to stop your...
Oh, it feels really different.
It's really rigid,
it
really
really
strong.
Is. Look there, you can see.
That's to protect, so obviously you're going to be using it with a hot drink, so it's protect the surfaces. So that's what you'll get.
It feels almost like a synthetic felt.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much what it is. It's a thicker felt that's been heat treated or chemically treated to be able to sort of
quite dense.
resist the heat. And you've got little markings on it. You're going to get your instructions there as well. So you just need to cut out all of the little pieces. And you'll notice each piece has got a number, and that number corresponds with the place on the piece of wadding. So quilt as you go is slightly different to the other things you would normally have. When you create another quilt, an ordinary quilt, you would create the top part of it, and then once you've created the top part of it, you then have your wadding or your batting that goes in the middle, and then you have your backing fabric. So we create what is called a quilt sandwich, so you have those 3 layers put together. But what we do with this, as it's a quilt as you go, you actually sew the top part of the fabric onto the actual wadding, so it means it's nice and quick to put together. So I can show you how we do that. So we start with the first piece here. Now you can glue this or spray it onto the wadding, or you could just pin it. So I'm just going to pin it for the moment.
If you would put adhesive on, would you still sew it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, so the adhesive is almost like a temporary fix.
Yeah. So well, we've got 2. So we've got one that just gives a kind of temporary fix for you to spray, or we've got another one which you actually spray it and then you use it on your iron, and then that bonds it together. So we're then going to, so that's a piece number 1, and we then need to find piece number 2. And so everything's got little numbers on it, and we want to put that right sides facing, and we're just going to place that here. And I'm going to put that a little pin in that, and then we're going to stitch along this line here with our 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we're going to basically build the whole thing up in exactly the same way.
So you basically just work along in numerical order.
Yeah.
So they put the numbers on and in the order that you need to sew them on.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's easy enough. Your bobbin's filled up again, is it?
Yes, all done.
That's good.
Done for the moment anyway. And then
depends how much sewing we get you to do in the next 43 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So now I'm just going to give it a finger press so you can see how that then looks. And that's basically what you do. You start building up. So we take number 3. So I'll do a couple of these to show you. And the other one, the coaster's done in exactly the same way, but they're smaller. They're just a small square, but they're put together in exactly the same way. So once you've sewn all of these pieces on the front, you then take your backing piece, which is this piece here, which you would have already trimmed out, and you place that right sides together and you turn it inside out and with a little gap. And then just give everything a press, and you will give it all a sort of top stitch as well.
So these would be a really nice kit to give to somebody who's just thinking about getting into sewing and just wants a little bit more support before they sort of venture out onto their own, don't they? You know, go like that. Anyway, Pam E says she thinks you should mail the cushion cover to her.
Oh. Well, yeah, are you having a Jubilee party? Is that what it's for?
You need it for your Jubilee party.
I can always put the instructions on online so you can have a look at it, because I did just make it up as I went along. Like everything here. Can you tell? But yeah,
We couldn't tell with that at all. We couldn't tell at all. Right, so let you finish that, and then we will be able to announce which is your demo of the show. So keep.
Fold that like that, and I'll do the final quarter, so you can see what that looks like. Yeah.
So that, you know, once you've turned those over, then when you do number 6, it's going to trap the next edges in, and it's going to just keep working.
I mean, you should be giving this an iron each time you're sewing them together, but I'm just giving it a quick finger press. But Quilt As You Go is a really nice option. It's nice and quick and easy, because sometimes when you're doing you're quilting something and you're using like a proper quilt sandwich, you've got to make sure that you've got the backing fabric and the wadding, everything's all self-contained in here. So you can see how quickly that comes together. And then once it's all been finished, it will look like that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, slightly different colour on this particular one, that's a finished one. And it's been stitched all the way around the edge just to
so once
finish
you've turned
off.
it the right way out, you've then overstitched it on
And
top.
it's quite a thick, quite a rigid sort of
I've got some like little trays for teacups, and that would fit lovely on a little tray, wouldn't it? Take it is washable now once you've made that?
Yeah, it will be machine washable.
Machine
Absolutely.
washable.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I just know how sloppy I am with tea? Or with the dogs around?
You probably wouldn't want that if you've got dogs. They're not gonna pay attention to the fact that it's your cup of tea and your biscuits, are they?
No,
they're just gonna,
not at all.
They're gonna want that themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, very easy to do, and a really good self-contained little project for you to work on.
Right, absolutely perfect. Right, so the next thing we're going to have a look at a couple more items before we announce our demo of the show. So these are our Saver Stitch. So these are beautiful decorative panels. So I saw some of these, and I saw how these were sort of cut into your fabrics. But again, mixed media dyes, so you can be using these for whatever you want. Now look at this. This is saving you over 70%. So these are normally retail at either $11.99 or $9.99 each, and you're going to get today all 4 of those panels for £13.50 or £10.80 if you're a platinum member. So that's $19 or $15.20, which I think is brilliant. So 70% saving for those, which is brilliant saving. The next one we're going to look is our stranded cotton. So you're going to get 4 packs of these, and so that's going to give you 24 threads. So I'm working out that must be 6 threads in each pack. Yes, I think that's right. So you've got in festive, autumn, summer and spring. Now normally you'd be paying $7.99 for each of these packs, but today you can have all 4 packs for £12.78 or $17.52. So if you're a platinum member, that's £10.22, $14.02. But you've got the fantastic range of threads. And as we were saying before, Becky, if you get these are 6 thread packs. So you split them down into 2s?
Into 2s, yeah. So, and when you use your embroidery thread, you should make sure that you use it from only a piece that is as long as the tip of your finger to your elbow, so it doesn't get into a knot for you.
Not like I do, just try and go as long as you can for the first one. So you've got a lovely, lovely range of colours there. So the next one is the stencils. Now when I saw these, they were showing me these before the show, and I was like, why would I want a stencil? And Becky explained this absolutely perfectly to us earlier. So these are stencils that you would lie over the top of your fabric, and then you could either spray through them with your chalk spray, did you say?
Yeah.
Or you would use your heat erasable pens, and that would give you your guideline, and also like your templates to do your free motion quilting. Is that an accurate summary?
That is absolutely how to do it.
There we go. There we are. I did listen. So the next one is your hardware kits. Now these you have a choice. So you've got 3 different ones. So you've got your classic clutch bag at £14.99 or $19.95. You've got your Kiss clasp clutch bag, and I haven't had a cup of tea for a long time, so that's not easy to say. And third one you've got is your stylish hoop bag. Now this one is $16.99 or $22.95. So what you're getting in here is you're getting your hardware, you're getting your metal and your instructions to make these. Now these are buy one, get one free. So put 2 in your basket, and at checkout you're only going to be charged for your most expensive one. So the first 2 are the clutch bag ones are $14.99 and the hoop bag is $16.99, but buy one, get one free. Oh, so we're going to look at the decorative panels. I'll show you the packaging, so just so that you can see. Oh, these are the stencils, decorative panels. There we are. I picked up the wrong ones. Sorry, these ones. There we go. So you've got these lovely. Look at these. You can see they are such deep dish dies. So these are going to cut into your fabric or into your material beautifully. So what have you got that you can show us, Becky?
I've got a couple of cards that we've used these for. So because there's multimedia dies, you've got lots of different options. So we've got some cards that we've done using these dies, and we've also got a couple of bags that have been cut with them. So they look really effective, and you can of course use those dies to almost like make a stencil that you may want to to use for different things. So those are the 2 card examples, and then these little bags.
They look
so effective. So this is made with a faux leather, and that cuts absolutely beautifully with those little dies.
So it's cut out of the cream, and you put the peach behind on that small one.
Yeah. And then this one cut out of the black, and we've just used the rear side of the fabric, or a little bit of black fabric on the inside to make it pop. It looks incredible, and it's so quick and easy. So with our bag making templates that you've seen before, you could use one of these and then just use this panel on the front part of the bag to make it look completely different.
I think they're beautiful. They are so effective, aren't they? And again, like you're saying, you could be using these on all of your materials, so they look fantastic on your leather. Then you can also be using them on your faux leathers, your corks, your thicker cardstock, whatever you wanted to. Right, so quickly look at these fabrics, and then I'm going to be able to tell you the demo of the day. So am I the right way round? Nope, that way round. Right, I didn't turn it round. So let me just get my list so that we can do. So you have got all of these. So the first one, digital print, is limited stock, so you're going to have to be quick if you want to get this one. So we've got less than 10% here. You can use it as a panel, you can use it as your bunting. It's entirely up to you. So that's $9.99 for your half metre. Remember, however many you put it in, up to 8 metres, you're going to get as a single piece. So if you do want to make like a quilt or something, or a panel, that's going to come in one piece. Then you've got your teacups in silver. So this is beautiful. This is only half the width because it goes off the screen, but I can show you on there. Then you've got the metallic silver print on the teacups and the ER for Elizabeth Royal. So that's your teacups in silver. Then we've got our crowns on cream. There we are. This is really nice. Again, really pops. I really don't know if you can see this, because often metallics and foils don't show because we have a black ceiling, but you can actually just about see the shimmer. If we had a white ceiling, foils and blacks and metallics would pop a lot more. And then we've got our crowned on blue. I think this one is really smart.
You can really see the metallic on that, can't you?
You can, can't you? Really. If I sort of twizzle it a bit. Look at that, we're at the top where the lights are popping. Yeah, you can really see how the metallic's popping on that one. Then we have our Union Jacks on cream. And as I said, this is a sort of off-white cream rather than a yellow cream, but looks really nice. And you used this one, didn't you, for your letters when we didn't get quite finished for that demo. But yeah, again, looks really nice.
The demo that went wrong.
Then we've got our Union Jacks on light blue, which I love that, and I'm thinking that teamed up with white and things would look really, really smart. I just really like that one. But my favourite, if I'm allowed a favourite, is my Union Jack hearts on royal blue. I don't know whether it's the hearts or whether it's the blue, but everything about that one just appeals to me. I just like the size of the print and everything.
The depth of that blue, it's almost like a purple, isn't it? It's a really, really deep, heavy blue. It's beautiful.
It's lovely. But it doesn't take away from the blue, because you'd think, well, you've got blue against blue, but it works somehow, the hearts. So that's lovely. And then the Palace Gold. So if they've got metallic in them, they're £7.49. If they've got no metallic in them, they're £6.99, apart from the digital print, which is £9.99. So look at that, and then you can see the metallic thread really popping through on the carriages. Okay, demo of the show. This is the first time I've had the pleasure of announcing a demo of the show, and this is going to go to demo number 2.
Oh,
Your cushion, I could see that. I could see that
thank
coming.
you.
The comments when you made that, I think that, you know, didn't surprise me. So
I'm
well
glad
done,
you
Becky.
liked it. You can make your own cushions for taking on your Jubilee picnics.
Yeah, exactly. Right, well, thank you so much for putting up with me and supporting me through my very first show.
Being great,
Uh,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's lovely. So after the break, I'm up with Craig, so I'm sure it'll be fun. But when are you back then, Becky?
Next Friday, you and me next Friday morning.
I'm the expert, not the presenter. So
But we'll be
we're going to tag team.
causing some mayhem.
Yeah,
being
we're going to
the
tag team.
experts.
You're going to get 2 experts next Friday morning. It's going to be me and Becky.
Excellent.
Yes. And I'm going to make sure she's there, because I've told her she's got to come in the car with me, so that they don't try and make me demo on Wake Up and Craft with the soft fabrics. There we go. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you so much, Becky. And anyway, I'm back in an hour with Craig with our brand new launch of our Animals with Attitude. And Craig has reached out on Facebook and has got some amazing pictures of your animals with attitude. So I can't wait to see who's going to win that, because he's going to give a little bit of a prize to the animal that really appeals to him with the most attitude. So come back to see us in 1 hour, and we will have a look at that. So these are the most amazing stamps. And I think if you tuned in earlier to the Wake Up Craft, you will have got a little bit of a sneak peek of them there. So this will be absolutely brilliant. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for being kind to me on my first show as a presenter. And we will see you in an hour. Goodbye.